Ford Video Guy Studio in Salina, Kansas, it's McArthur Live with Tim Bartz and Sarah Davis. For all the information on ordering and production, Ford news, recalls, debunking all the fake news on social media, and whatever's on their mind, here's your hosts, Tim and Sarah. Welcome in, everybody. We're episode 196 this week, and we are back. Gone last week. Vacation for me, and yeah, how was it without me? Do you even need me back?
I mean, we were pretty chill out there.
Yeah.
Just working away, just the two of us.
Yeah, getting everything done without me. Anyway, hopefully you guys had a good week as well, and you didn't really miss me. Now, the members,
they didn't miss you at all.
If you're a member of the channel,
in fact, they might have gotten tired of you.
You guys got bonus because every day you got a coffee time with Tim. So again, membership has its perks, and again, it's not anything like major that you miss. But if you're a member and you're a supporter, we tried to do some fun stuff. And so this week, I don't know. I just the very first morning, Saturday morning, my wife and I drove the camper part way. We stayed the night at a campground, and I don't know what it was. We got coffee. Of course, we get coffee every morning, and I thought, I don't know, it was fun. Coffee time with Tim, and I thought I'll just do one, and then it just continued. And I did it every day. So except for Saturday, we were traveling the second Saturday back, and so the video didn't upload like I thought. Then I forgot, and then I'm like, well, it'll just upload while we're driving. We get connection and such, and then I forgot to actually, once it uploaded, I uploaded them as private. Then I forgot to switch it over and have it go live for the members. So you guys didn't get that one until Sunday morning, and then Sunday I couldn't get any reception. So by the way, going through most of Arizona, especially through the Navajo territory, don't really have a lot of internet access and availability. And I'm okay with that because I'm driving, so I don't really care. And then also Colorado, in and out in Colorado as well, especially the lower part down there where we're at. So anyway, but you guys got a coffee time with Tim. So, and if you guys wondering, if you're a member, check out the videos. Coffee time with Tim. I didn't put them in any kind of playlist or anything, but they'll be under the membership stuff. We'll talk about that in a second. But some of them said they wanted me to continue doing that. I didn't do one yesterday. I didn't do one today, but I thought maybe we put up for a vote. But I don't know if you guys really want to have coffee time with Tim during the week, because it's, I don't know, pretty boring around here if you're actually doing what we did. But anyway, we'll see. If you guys want to, we might play around with that a little bit too. Anyway, but there you go. But anyway, so William, I'm a non-member for 3 years. A very, very big supporter and follower. So yes. Anyway,
yeah.
So yeah, I was on vacation. So we're going to talk about where all we went later in the video. Maybe throw some pictures up there as well. If you follow me on social, on Instagram, then you saw some pictures, you saw some things, and I didn't post everything, but a few photos and everything. We might do a few videos in this today as well. But yeah, so there you go. So we'll talk more about that. So on a vacation to hit a bunch of national parks, and the goal was to get to the Grand Canyon, see the Grand Canyon. So we called this the 30th anniversary tour is what I called it. But it was a trip for your mom and I to it's 30 years married now, and so we wanted to do that trip. She's always wanted to go to the Grand Canyon, which is kind of weird because I didn't think about it until I started planning. I'm like, wait a minute, she's scared of heights, but yet she wanted to go see the Grand Canyon.
I mean, Lebo wants to go to the Grand Canyon as well, and he's terrified of heights.
So it was interesting. So because some things I planned, I'm like, well, I don't know if we'll be able to do that or not. But anyway, so I planned the whole trip for the most part. But I had your mom, chef mom there, that she planned all the food because we were stocked up. We were set to go. But anyway, so
See, that's the
we had a lot of
opposite.
fun.
I always plan the trip, and Leo plans the food.
Oh yeah. I mean, we don't have to worry about snacks when we're driving along. And when we stop for gas, that's about all we need is gas in the bathroom. And then we don't really need beverages. We don't need about anything because it's all planned out. It's all in there. She does an awesome job. But anyway, but yeah, I planned most of the trip. And and we even changed some plans. She goes, "What do you have planned for tomorrow?" I'm like, "I don't know." There's one day I'm like, "I don't know." So because originally we were gonna have another off-road day when we went to Arizona or went to Utah, and instead of off-road, we actually went and saw National Park. So
Yeah.
it was fun seeing a couple. So I thought we'd hit another one. So we had an extra National Park day. So anyway, we'll talk more about that and the National Park. We got a little map over here that Sarah got me actually for Christmas one year. And we finally got it in a frame, but you can scratch off the different places you've been. I think you can scratch off the roads and territories you've been as well. And then over there's all those different states. So you can scratch off the states you've been to, I think. So, which I think is pretty cool. So down at the bottom, you have all the national parks, so you can scratch it off twice or whatever. But there's also national monuments you can go visit as well, which like when we went to DC, we saw a lot of national monuments.
So you could get those.
Yeah, and I don't know which symbol's which up there in the corner, but anyway. So
I can tell you.
But there you go. So we started that. Anyway.
You should just scratch off Kansas. The whole Kansas.
And a lot of Colorado we've been to, and Missouri. I like to say Missouri. Just kidding. Anyway, but yeah, we'll talk more about that later in the episodes. And I have we'll talk about sticker swaps. I do have a couple here from people. I might need to get a knife out to get into these.
For as large as Texas is, I only see 2 national parks.
Yeah. And I do want to go to Big Bend National Park because I have a Bronco Big Bend and I want to go down there really bad.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll have to plan for that.
Meanwhile, I got more chickens.
Yep. More chickens. Your anniversary was yesterday.
It was 7 years.
7 years. There you go. So I was told 30 year is the pearl year. So the trip was what we got each other for our anniversary.
Lebo and I bought chicks.
We bought a lot of we bought a lot of things on our trip. In fact, I got one of the shirts here. We're going to talk about this because it says
lose reception,
gain
perspective.
It's from the Zion National Park. So because when you go to the Zion National Park, you lose reception. You really don't have much reception there. There are some that you really don't have any. Just depends on where you're at. But anyway, so yeah, there's that. Yes, and I actually like that. When we go off road, and I always say that, and one of the things that I like most about going off road and getting, into some areas is that you are off at a reception, and I like that. Get disconnected from people, or not necessarily people, but get disconnected from everything, social media, all that other stuff, right? And be with the people that you're there and with nature. And I love that. I love that about off roading and going places that you can't get to normally, or most people can't, right? And see things like we're going to show you some things, some views that most people aren't going to see, and some spots in Grand Canyon that most people won't see those sections because of where we're able to get there with our off-road vehicles. So pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, there's that. But we're recording this as a podcast, so you can be listening to it. If you are listening to the version, you may want to watch the YouTube version of it because we're gonna show some pictures later. But we got 2 weeks of dealer news updates and recalls to go through. There were some dealer news updates while I was gone. Some things that happened, some big news that I missed, but that's all right. We didn't go to Carlisle, so there was a release of information there. And I guess now they've shifted their used to be you go to media.ford.com.
Yeah.
And they changed it. It's not there. They're not really updating that anymore. And that's just like, I think most of that stuff's not product stuff. So now they switch it to like fromtheroad.ford.com.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that because I was looking for the information. I'm like, I didn't get any of the information on that Mustang that was revealed, which we'll talk about in the Is It True section. We'll pull that up. But I asked for the content. They said, yeah, it's all right here. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Okay. So I don't think they released it to everybody. They had it at Carlisle. And then so people that were Carlisle, they got to see it first.
Yeah.
But and that goes to show you that the Carlisle Ford Nationals in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, every year Ford Performance will release something, and we'll talk about the Mustang thing, but it's pretty much I don't think it's a package that'll be on a 26 model year like you can order. It'll be like what the Ford Custom Garage is. So, and by the way, did you know? Because we had, I don't know if you knew, Derek went to a special meeting of a small group, right? Did you know that we are the only dealership that has that has put on an order on a Bronco order, one of the Ford Custom Garage packages? We're the only dealership. We're the only one. My order is the only one that they says you're the only dealership that's ever submitted one of those so far.
So it created notoriety of our dealership and something that stuck out to them. Like,
it's like, well, that they realized we just did it just to create a video, but which I actually, because while I was gone, they actually put the custom package on there, so I didn't get a chance to pick the one I wanted.
Some dealers may not realize how to do it.
Yeah.
But if you can make a training video, they need to hire you for training videos for dealers.
The thing of it is I can't now, because while I was gone, they were told, Ford had actually told them that we needed to pick a package, and it happened last week, because it wasn't there like a couple weeks ago, because we even helped them fix their system because it wasn't there for us to do when it got scheduled. And so last week while I was gone, they were told they get the little instructions, and they were told that the inventory and ordering person had to pick a package. So it's going to have the coastal package, which we'd actually voted on that. Remember in our live, we actually decided which package we're going to do, and it was going to be one of the dark trail packages, and it's going to be a coastal package, I guess. But anyway, it'll be a pretty cool coastal package, because it'll be a black diamond package.
Yeah. What I'm saying is Ford needs to have you make training videos for dealers. Like, hey, go watch this guy's YouTube channel. Oh, yeah. He has a playlist for.
Well, like there's something in here that I learned this week that I kept the information on. That as dealers, you can go into the dealer hub, and you can actually go into your orders, and you can see which orders have constraints and what the constraints are.
Yeah.
That is something new that they just started doing. So I have the email on how to do that, but that's really, I won't do a video on that for public, but like you said, I could do a dealer resource video.
Yep.
Well, anyway, enough of that. But anyway, glad you guys are here. And other than that, don't forget we have a merch site. Links are in the video. So there's not really any discounts going on there, but it's McArthur.myspreadshop.com. But on the 19th of June, which is just a little over a week away, week and a half, there will be 25% off everything. So, want to check that out on that day. So mark your calendar. Well, isn't that Juneteenth? I think that's Juneteenth. So,
I think so.
So that's that day. So, and then also we have our McArthur merch site as well. If you want some McArthur merch, we have some of that as well in there, and I've worn some of that stuff before as well. But there you go. Anyway, I am donning a new hat. I don't know if you saw that. I found this hat at Winslow, Arizona, at the 76 gas station. It's pretty cool because it's got the state of Arizona with Sasquatch in there. It's pretty cool. So,
by the way, all the Sasquatch for Bronco helped my voice stop with the chupacabra talk.
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, a chupacabra is one of the the Mexican monster. Its origins are Mexican. Mom says it's the Mexican word for Sasquatch.
I think she just said that so the boys would stop.
But it helped. Because then they were like, wait, Sasquatch? I'm like, yeah. Here, look, it's on the Bronco. Look at this. And I showed them and everything. I was and pulling up the Bronco page. I'm like, see, everyone loves the Sasquatch. He's amazing. They're like, oh, so he's a nice guy. I'm like, yes. Okay. Then the talk of the chupacabra calmed down.
I saw a shirt. What was it? It had a Sasquatch on there. It says a good man's hard to find. Something like that. I need a shirt like that. But one of the things we went to some of the national parks, and they had hats and everything, but they also had patches. So we got patches, a lot of them. So your mom's going to iron on patches onto some hats, so you can go buy a cheaper hat, because some of those hats were kind of expensive. But
yeah,
We still bought some stuff, shirts and stuff to support our national parks. But anyway, so there you go. All right. Let's see what's next on our agenda here. We have don't forget membership. If you want to become a member, you get great content. All right, you get a well. Let's show them how to become a member first. You got that? There you go. So if you want to become a member,
you click that join button right beside the subscribe button.
Which now I think they've updated.
They have.
I was on. We're going to talk about some other channels that we like, and one of them is one of Chris Bow Family EV. We're going to talk about him in just a little bit, but now I noticed I went to his site and you subscribe on the subscribe. It'll say subscribed. Beside it, there's a little plus now. So you click the little plus, and that's
so we might need to do an update.
We need to do an update. So
okay.
So anyway, so yes, so on the homepage you can you click that, and now I think it says subscribe. It's black now. I think there's a plus there. If you click on that, then it gives you your membership perks, all the different things. We have one membership level. It's $5, and you get some fun content. You can find that content on the not there.
Not there.
On the
there.
The membership section there. You can find that information there. You also get notified. So when a video goes live, you'll get notified if it's a video content or whatever. But we also do have a member Discord. So the members like to chat with each other, and they have a Discord where they can communicate and hang out with each other and talk about things.
Outside of the live stream.
Yep, outside of the live stream. We also do a Friday member live for an hour. Usually around it's at 4 p.m. Central. And
on Fridays,
and it's usually on Friday, almost like every Friday, unless I'm gone or something. And then on Thursday we do a lot walk, and I usually talk about a couple things and everything. And then if I'm on a trip or whatever, and we might have a new coffee time with Tim for our members.
I used to do lunch with Sarah when I was selling cosmetics. I'd sit in my car in my lunch hour and go over cosmetics.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. Coffee time with Tim. Something we need to start for our members? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway. All right.
Maybe they want some lunchtime with Sarah too.
All right. Anyway.
I don't know what I would talk about though.
Don't forget we did have some videos go live while I was gone. A lot of the Super Duty videos that went live, all the different trim levels. So basically how to order those. Those took a lot of time, a lot of effort to get those done, especially before I left and have them scheduled out. We even did a special Maverick video that went live while I was gone. So we did have a video go live last Monday, but forgot about that. Anyway, so we had that, and then of course a video yesterday as well. So someone had sent me a video of the different vehicles at Carlisle. It's really cool. He walked through all the vehicles and he sent that. So I made that part of the Maverick Monday video yesterday. So he said I could do that. So anyway, give him a shout out. Daniel Shirky was there. He's Cyber Maverick on the Maverick Truck Club. So anyway, so kudos to him, and give him all the credit there. And he said I could do that. So outside of that, I don't know. Yeah, check out some of the other channels. All Train Nation, they do a live stream on Sunday nights. And we listened a little bit while we stopped for a meal Sunday night on the way back. And then we do have, of course, all kinds of other. We have Johnny's Car Camera Review. He just did a video the other day on the Maverick logo.
Yeah,
that was pretty good. I haven't had a chance to watch it clear through, but I noticed that came up, as well as we have ReactorCon, one of our members that has a Bronco channel, in the sense of Bronco channel, and he does a Bronco break, which is really fun. Bronco news and such like that. And I'm not always logged into my Ford Video Guide channel, so I sometimes miss notifications on some of those, but there you go. So check those out. And then Turn Down for Watts is a podcast that you can see on YouTube. They also have it probably podcasting at different places, but he came through not too long ago on his drive back. He bought a Lightning in Tennessee and drove through on the way back to California, and he stopped by the dealership and did a little tour of the dealership. We showed him our lightning bolts and what's specific and what's so special about what we do there. We talked about the studio here as well, and we even looked at a Mustang Mach-E that was out in our showroom. So anyway, so check out that video. It is linked in the comments or in the description of this show. So check out his channel. The channel link is in there. He has two different ones: Turn Down for Watt, WATT, for his podcast, but also he has one for his Bow Family EV as well. So check out that link, and that's where that video is at. You can find that on there. So anyway, I'm excited. Actually, I want tonight. I want to watch the one he did. There was Martin Rebuild. So it says Kansas. I didn't realize he's from Kansas. But anyway, I want to watch that video. But anyway, so he stopped through different places, including here. So you want to check that video out, you can. So anyway, all right, that's that. Boom. We have stickers. So you figure out a good dealer while I show them these here. So this is Kaylee and Bucky 2.0. Thank you for the swap. And this is from Iowa, Storm Lake, Iowa. That's a cool name for a town. There's their Bronco right there. Haven't done a swap in a while. Bucky 2.0. That must be their second Bronco then. And then their sticker package and everything.
I'm going to get back into swaps.
The stickers and everything.
I've just been busy right now.
Yep. Another poker chip.
Ooh.
So I got that. I got a sticker of their Bronco.
What's their
put up
handle?
It says Bucky 2.0 in here.
Oh, okay.
There you go. And then we have some other fun little stickers they threw in as well, right there. So pretty cool. Anyway, here's that. Leave that so I have that for the stickers. And then we have this other one. From this person is from Colorado, Commerce City, Colorado. Don't think we went through there. So they have their patch. Oh, that Bronco Ghost.
Oh, that's cool.
So there, there's their sticker. See that? A couple different ones, and they got a little.
Add that one.
Little guy.
Oh, that's cute.
So anyway, I guess there's an area there maybe they're by there in Colorado where they have like a little tower and everything where you can for UFO spotting and all that. And we were gonna go right by there, I think. But anyway, pretty cool. So there's that. All right. So there's those swaps, and then of course we have stickers from all over the places, all the different national parks we went to, and different places we went to this week or the last week. We went. We got stickers for the Bronco because the Bronco gets stickers. They deserve stickers too. Plus the camper. We're gonna put we stay at the Dark Sky, a boutique RV experience in Kanab, Utah, and I will recommend them highly. It was a great experience there. They do have a really nice setup and campsite, and you do get to see a sunset about every night. Prime location, get the luxury sites. If you have a small enough RV, you have to have a small RV for that, which we did. And then you get right there. There's nobody in front of you between you. I mean, if you have some of the other sites, you get a good view, but you have some campsites in front of it. But yeah, nobody in front of us. It's pretty cool. It was fun. It was nice. So we watched 2 sunsets at 3 nights. We're there. One of them we didn't get back in time. We'll get into that a little bit later. A little off-road and fun. Too much fun, maybe.
Yeah.
But I did get to test out the off-road lights that I have, and they're plenty. I don't really know if I need to add any more unless I want some amber ones just to cut through some of the haze from dust and such. But in a way of brightness of my lights at night on the trail, I did not have any issues. Of course, these trails were through trees and forests, but yeah, they worked. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. All right. Got a good dealer?
I do.
Oh, wait. Before we do that, we talk about membership.
Yeah.
We got to do membership shout outs first.
Yes.
And while you're getting ready for that, don't forget, figure out what's in Tim's cup. They were actually commenting on the coffee. I'm like, well, we don't have to guess what's in Tim's cup. It's coffee.
All right. So we're going to start out with our super chats. We have Mike M. Hello, all. I had 3rd colonoscopy in 18 months this morning. That's all behind me now. Was able to play a little golf. Great vacation, Tim and Barbara. We have Alan, member for 42 months. getting our trip planned out for the meetup.
That's fun. That's coming up. We're actually gonna, yeah, your mom and I are gonna go to Colorado the week before that. So we'll get back the day before. Everybody will show up. We'll flow right into it.
Right. We have Ridgeview first chat tonight. Hey folks, nice to be back here at the live stream. See you all soon. We have Ford enthusiast. Hey Tim, Sarah, and Ridgeview. Good evening, all. Along with Rob Hallmark and Good Go Stang saying good evening. Ford enthusiast is here. We have Brian Foster. Welcome back. Good evening, everyone from beautiful Orange County, California. I will be in the car and heading to soccer practice.
I didn't know you played soccer.
He coaches a girls' team.
I know.
He coaches soccer.
I know. I was teasing.
We have Ronald. Good evening to everyone on the live stream tonight. Buck, yeah. Hey, LM gang. Summertime is almost here. We have KOFM. And he has an update. After contacting sales, I confirmed my order had $3,000 of hail damage. Luckily, an identical dark metal gray car arrived due to tire shipping damage. He picks it up next week. So then he had a follow-up question to that. My sales representative told me that Ford might auction my order. Does Ford often do this? I asked what he means by auction. He said, has already been built, but shipping addresses to Ford factory in Canada. Sales team said that due to hail damage, the order will be auctioned.
Yes, we had one of those.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we're having. I think you're seeing a delay in some of those vehicles showing up. They won't always say it, but we had one that said, okay, here's a VIN that will not be delivered to you. It's going to go to the auction
but they reschedule a new VIN.
No. What happens is you have to reorder and then get scheduled again and go through the whole process again.
That's not fair.
So
that's not
what they do is
fair.
they give you an extra allocation the next month. So like
still,
like
but
this,
if it's
like
an
we
order,
got our extra one this month for that customer.
But still, if it's an order that was hard to get scheduled in the first place, and they aren't looking for that order this month, are they going to schedule it?
They might. What they could do is probably if you let them know, hey, this is the one that got the VIN, they'll like try to make sure that gets like a priority too, so it gets automatically scheduled. But you still have to. I mean, they'll give you another allocation. So we got an extra allocation for that one.
Okay.
But I think some of those are getting. That's why it's taking so long. Is that they're need to get inspected. So they had a lot of hail come through there.
Okay.
And to be honest, the expedition is notorious that if it gets hail damage, that roof is getting like so much damage.
Yeah.
So
it's such a large roof.
Well, my expedition,
okay, now think about this. An F-150 is about the size of an expedition, just without the interior room. Think how small that roof is compared to how much roof space you have on an expedition.
Yep.
The rest is bed space on a truck. Explorer, not as large of a roof.
Yep.
Nothing has as large as a roof as an expedition, and it's a flat. It's almost a boxy shape, so it has a lot of coverage.
Well, yeah, and a lot of that roof too isn't like flat. It's real easy to just pop those out. It's
divoted.
Yeah. So
riveted.
Yeah. So ours R22 is getting a roof replaced. So they're just replacing the roof. They finally got insurance to say no. I think 400 or what was it, 300 hail dents is enough to replace the whole roof.
So we aren't going to sit here and pop out 300 dents.
So anyways,
all right.
Moving on.
We have our quib. Are we there yet? Bucko, good evening, everyone. Mid Coast Maine is here. Brian Foster says he loves the coffee times. Went through withdrawals the last 2 days. Voles wants to know, does the Bart's bucket list include a Bronco trip to the lower 48 during its vehicle life?
So lower 48, we are in the lower 48, right?
I don't know.
There's a lot of places we still need to go see.
Yep. All right. Alan says he's going to see if he can find some of that cider before he heads back to Kansas.
Ah,
We have Douglas from sunny Northern Virginia. Life is good with a Bronco. Rob is here. How many meetups is this? So this is the 4th annual Maverick meetup this year, right?
I think so.
Yes, because last year we didn't have a sticker made.
Because we didn't call it a Maverick meetup.
Right. But we're back to Maverick meetup. We still had the Maverick meetup last year. It just wasn't the main event. So
Yeah.
this is the 4th annual Maverick meetup. Midwest Maverick meetup.
Yep.
All right. One guy I know has an allocation for the GTD. He is disappointed about the interior. It's just a Mustang for $350,000.
There's a lot. Yeah, if it's about the performance of that. If you realize, I mean, they're like, I got a chance to look at one and they talked about the capabilities and what's on that. That is all about. I mean, you're getting a race car. You really are. I mean,
Yeah.
there's things that actually a lot of your like your GT4s and GT3s. There's things your GTD has on it that you can't put on a GT3 or 4 because of the regulations for the racing committee. But they don't have to do that with the street legal car. So the GTD has things on it that are going to be to make it be able to go faster and do better and perform better
Yeah.
than a GT3 or GT4. That's why the GTD on the Nürburgring is the one they're using, not a GT3 or 4, because it's going to perform better. So that GTD it's unreal. So yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of things they did to it. In fact, they take a Mustang. It does start as a Mustang, and they drop it off at what is that? Something Matic. Anyway, Multimatic, right? And they drop it off to them, and they basically disassemble the vehicle to do what they need to do and put on as they assemble it, because all the like panels and all are totally redone. So anyway, so I won't talk more about that. But did you get a chance to see a GTD at an auto show?
Is that the white? Which one is that?
You didn't go to that one. It was the Detroit Auto Show.
That's right. Jeff went to that one.
No, that was one that Derek and Michael went to. All right.
Okay. Philippe says howdy. Douglas says we get to guess what's in Tim's cup. Richview says what's in Tim's cup is Colorado River water from the Grand Canyon.
No, but I'm kind of mad at my body shop. So the Bronco needed to get the hail damage fixed, so we waited until I got back. And when I drove that, some of the pictures you'll see, that's Grand Canyon dirt that was on it. I know you're not supposed to take anything off the trail, but that mud dried as dirt on the boards on the front steps. And when I got back, it had it on there. I was gonna like pull that off, put it in a jar, and say this is Grand Canyon dirt. And they washed it because they were doing the hail. They had to wash it to fix it. So I'm not really that surprised. But so yeah, we no longer have any Grand Canyon dirt on our Bronco.
I bet you have some
actually
inside.
Probably a good thing to remove the evidence.
I bet you have some insight though.
We did have some fun going to this. So there was a bunch of puddles on the way back on one of the trails from there, and I was not avoiding them. I was going through them. She goes, "You're going through those on purpose." I'm like, "Well, yeah." We had to roll the windows because we had the windows rolled down, and so every time we started approaching a puddle, she raised them up.
Isn't it nice that she can do that from her side? Okay, so
she can do both of them.
I've never really liked how the Broncos have it in the center because I'm so used to it being over here. But yeah, it would be nice that the passenger can control the windows for the driver.
Yeah.
I like that. Douglas says Sarah could talk about women, Ford, and what's new. Yeah. Let's see. If you put a Bronco order now, but it doesn't get built, do you get the employee pricing and other discounts on 26 Bronco and price protected?
Yes. Probably not. Because I don't see why it would get scheduled.
No, if it doesn't get built. So he's saying if it doesn't get here in time. If you order a vehicle right now, you get locked in for employee pricing and
yes, on
the
a
other
25 model year.
25.
So if for some, I think what he's saying is if it
Oh,
doesn't get scheduled to get built for 25 and you have to reorder 26, then no,
no.
you won't get it. But to be honest, I don't see why you couldn't get scheduled. I mean, I don't see dealers that have so many orders more than their allocations. I mean, we're going to actually talk about a little bit of what our allocation numbers look like, but we're sitting here with 0 Bronco orders in our system and we have 5 allocations. So I don't see, and this is a month that they're not going to schedule as many, but once you place that order, it's locked in for 25 model year. I don't think we realized they didn't start making and building 25 model year until late January, early February. So they're going to build probably like last year. They're probably going to build 25 model year through November at least. So you still have a lot of opportunity to get it built with it placed and locked in that employee pricing. So
Yeah.
I talked to somebody that their vehicle, their vehicle's under the recall. So it came in and they couldn't take delivery of it.
Oh, yeah.
What was really crazy is it came in before the recall was released on their Maverick and they were on vacation. So they couldn't do the paperwork yet. When they got back, the recall was out. So then they couldn't take delivery. So the dealer didn't sell it to them and hold it, like some dealers could. What they did is they said, well, you know what? They're saying the recall could be third quarter. I think we order you a new one because your new one, if we order one now, it probably would be here before the recall gets lifted on the one that's here. And I think that's admirable from that dealer. So I think that's good. That's a good dealer. And that's what I told them in the comments. I said, now that's a good dealer because they were wise in thinking about, hey, let's go and order you one because the new one now won't have the recall when it comes in. And it might come in before the recall gets fixed. It gets taken care of. So anyway, all right.
All right. Those are all the ones I had starred.
He said, I'll bring more dirt at Supercell. Oh, yeah. He's going to be at Supercell, Colorado.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome.
Vol says, I thought about a Bart's and Bronco trip to Alaska. I don't know a lot about the Alcan Highway. Alaska is a huge state and getting around can be challenging even for a Bronco.
I've been to Alaska.
Yep.
When I was in college.
So my daycare, who her and her husband are off-roaders, she went to go on a 2-week trip in Alaska to go dog sledding, helicopter ride, fishing, where you were the waders and everything. She was going to go fly fishing. She was going to do all the bucket list things that you could do in Alaska and go off-roading and, go through it. Second day in, she was less than 24 hours from home. She rolled her vehicle and wrecked it. She totaled it. They couldn't recover it.
Yeah.
From
I mean, the dead of winter where there's a lot of deep snow might be tricky to get around. So
end of February.
If you're gonna do Alaska, you probably want to do it summertime.
Yeah, that was end of February, and she thinks she had just filled up her gas tank, and she was in an not an expedition, an excursion, lifted. She had just filled up the full tank, and she thinks she hit a small patch of black ice on her back tire and lost traction.
Yeah.
So she was going under the speed limit on a Canadian highway.
Yeah.
On a mountain road.
Anyway.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it wasn't so bad. I mean, I'm a person that for a long time, I get tired real easy driving. But when I'm in the Bronco, I don't that much. I mean, there are some times where I'm just like, I start to get maybe a little bit, but usually that's the scenery, just looking at the landscape and what's going on around me is I just enjoy that. Especially, I mean, Arizona and New Mexico and Utah are just beautiful. Colorado, of course, too. Those were the 4 states we went through, and they're just beautiful.
We're not used to that scenery, though. No. We're used to Kansas, Missouri.
Yeah. So, anyway, but I think my limit is 8 hours of driving.
Mm-hmm.
Because going through New Mexico and everything that second day, because we only got 4 hours in the first night, Friday night, and then going on to Arizona, I think it was close to 12 hours that we of time because we stopped and had lunch and and all that, but we didn't really do a lot of stops because by the time we got to we wanted to go to the petrified forest, it was closed because it was after the deadline.
Yeah.
You could not get in, so not all the parks are 24/7 because that one you couldn't drive through. And then there's another place that was dark, so we didn't stop, but we ended up just keep going. And so yeah, I think 8 to 10 hours is my limit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can do it, get there, especially if it's to that. But like coming back, it was 8 hours to Colorado, and then the next day was 8 hours back to Kansas, and that was about right.
Yeah,
I didn't feel like I got tired or anything. So anyway,
I told Debo I want to do a 10-year anniversary trip. I either want to go to Florida and go see like Universal and Disney and stuff, or just see Florida, or I want to go to Lake Tahoe because that's a bucket list for him. So do one of those.
Yep.
We'll see.
So I think we're gonna this year. This year was pretty fun, and I think we're gonna try to do that each year now. Do the 2 weekends. You take 2 weekends with a week in between, and go to further places that we can get to. Because we when we were in Arizona, we realized how close we were to Joshua Tree.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, we're not that far from Joshua Tree. Another. We could make a day trip of it. 5 hours. Do some Joshua Tree. Come back, in the morning in Joshua Tree and then come back. I mean, we could have done that to the campsite and just got another campsite. I actually thought about that at one point. And I was like, well, I'll probably be tired of driving, but we spent a lot of time in the Bronco.
Yeah.
A lot of time. And I did most of the driving. I hogged the steering wheel. I didn't even off-roading. Your mom, I drove more off-road than she did. So she reminded me of that. Way back. So anyway, all right. What's next? Did you highlight all the members?
I did.
All right, then we're ready for Good Dealer. We're 40 minutes in. We haven't even really got into the meat of things. Good Dealer.
Yes. Where is it? There we go. Did you already do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have Roseville Midway Ford and Roseville MN, Minnesota. I think so.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No markups, fast service, priority deliveries. So if you are in Roseville, Minnesota, check out Roseville Midway Ford.
All right. Cool. All right, we're moving right along. Now, we're not going to really, I like to kind of recap some of the scheduling just so that you guys have a chance to start putting in any questions you might have on scheduling. But we're going to kind of, move through this fairly quickly so that we can get through. Because I did a video earlier on scheduling, so always can watch that video to see all the details. But for the most part, about this is the first week of new allocations for dealers. Dealers have earned those new allocations, so this is the first week of using those allocations. And about every plant is going to do retail only scheduling this week. And so they're going to focus on that. Now, some of the specialty like Raptors, they might do stock if the dealer doesn't have retail. So that's kind of how that'll work this week. So mostly retail first. So this is the big week for people to get scheduled. And a lot of the factories will schedule as much of their month as they can with those retail orders this first week. And then the next week will be a mixture of any other new retail orders or ones that didn't get scheduled along with stock after that. So this is a big week, and they're all going to be scheduled for about August build dates. Some will go into September because Explorer is getting like 6 weeks of allocations because they're producing into the middle of September for balance out for 25 model year. And some others are doing something similar. Escape is actually, they're cutting it off right at the end of August. And so they'll have 26 model year will be September. So this is balance out for Escape. Balance out means this is the end of, they're going to schedule everything they can for the to end the 25 model year for the Escape, the Explorer, and the Mustang. So those three models are pretty much, they're ending up, but the order banks are still open up because if somebody wants to put one in, they could put it in like next week. The order banks will open up for the Mustang, Escape, and Explorer for 26 model year, but you'll still be able to order a 25 because dealers might have to put in some stock orders, and that's why they're still open. And so there's some carryover, kind of like right now, a dealer or somebody that said their dealer said the 25 model year Super Duty order bank is closed. It's not. It's still open. It's going to close. I think they said next week. Next Monday is the tentative date of when Super D order bank for 25 will close. And the reason both are open is because dealers that still have allocations for 25 have to be able to put in orders so they can fulfill those allocations and not carry them over into 26 model year. So that's how that works. But so everything's pretty much going to be open up. Mustangs open, retail only, Escapes open. They're going to be scheduling for those August build dates, retail only. It does say ICE scheduling only, so not plug-in and not hybrid for the Escape for this week. Bronco Sport, they are scheduling. Stay away from engine block heaters, and we're going to talk about. There's a recall later on engine block heaters. So Escape, Bronco Sport, and Maverick. If you have an engine block heater on your EcoBoost engines, they will not schedule. So just make sure you take those off of your orders. And then what else? Bronco Sport is going to be job 3, as well as Maverick is going to be job 3. So those gas particulate filters will be put on those. And because of that, if you are in a state that does not require that, then take off that option code 425. That's a big deal because they're limited on how many gas filters they have that they have to put on. But so just leave it for those carb states. And so that's what they're saying is that because of that limit availability. So some of the carb states might even struggle on getting some of their orders scheduled because their EcoBoost, especially because of that. So let's see, Bronco, they're scheduling. I think that their plan is down the last week of August because they're only scheduling through the week of August 18th. So I believe that they're probably the plan means that plant's going to be down the last week. Let's see what else. For allocations, we do have one Mustang allocation, no Dark Horse, but we have 0 unscheduled orders. Escape, we have 2 allocations, but again, no orders. Bronco Sport, 5 allocations, and again, we have 0 unscheduled orders. Bronco, we have 5 regular allocations, 2 Raptor allocations, and 0 unscheduled. And mach-e, 1 allocation, 0 unscheduled orders. Explorer, we do have 1 unscheduled order, and we have 23 allocations for Explorer, which is we're hurting on Explorer right now. We only have 1 on our lot. There's a big hold on an Explorer and getting those Explorers moved to us. Now, Expedition and Transit is not scheduling this week. We have 3 unscheduled Expedition orders and 4 allocations, so good shape because we didn't get them all scheduled last month. Maverick, we have 5 unscheduled retail orders and 29 allocations. 29 allocations for Maverick. So place your orders. We can get you scheduled. I would hope. Ranger, we have 10 Ranger allocations. None of them Raptor, though. Yeah. Sorry. The Ranger Raptor people are probably mad at me. We have 21 unscheduled Ranger Raptor orders. We have 6 unscheduled retail orders for Rangers. I think we had a company that put a bunch in for us. And then 25 model year Super Duty. This will be balanced out for Super Duty for 25 model year. We have 21 allocations, 13 unscheduled retail orders. Most of those were just put in recently. Actually, those might have been 26 model year orders. I didn't even look at that. They're not scheduled 26 model year yet on the Super Duty. 25 F-150, 21 allocations, 1 Raptor allocation, 12 unscheduled orders. And then Lightning, we have 5 allocations for Lightning, F-150 Lightning. So we're doing a good deal on Lightning, invoice pricing on Lightning. We have 0 unscheduled orders. So if you want to place one, let us know. And we have 0 allocations on Transit. So, and 0 orders. So there's a recap on that. So that should be time enough for questions, if we have any.
Not really. We don't really have many questions. Can you ask Tim if there would be any holdup on Badlands build with manual transmission and soft top? I'm really worried about the manual transmission.
No, I don't think. I mean, we have to remember, and they didn't do a capacity report or whatever commodity report this week. I didn't see it, but here's the deal: we got to remember they're going to make at least 5,000 Broncos each month, right? And so if that 3%, let me pull up my calculator here. Let's say they build 5,000 Broncos, and I think they make more than that. Somebody can tell me I'm probably wrong. I'm sure it's more than that. So let's just make it simple. It's 5,000, right? And their capacity is 3% for the manual transmission. That's 150 Broncos. And actually, I think that number is more like 8,000. So they're probably going to build like 200 manual transmission Broncos of what they're going to schedule. Well, I think at this point, because they scheduled a bunch last month, I don't think they have that many. So about every manual transmission, again, depending on dealer allocations, because there are going to be some people that will have a manual transmission and say, well, that's not true, Tim, because I didn't get scheduled. Well, if the dealer doesn't get an allocation or enough allocations to schedule yours, that can affect that. But like for us, where we have 0 orders and 5 allocations, right, we can get 5 people scheduled no matter what their order is, because of that. So, and really, and then when it comes to Bronco, sometimes I hate that when that report floats out there, because you'll see that red and where there's a deficit. I'm like, okay, but you got to remember, one of those columns is how many unscheduled retail orders there are, and so the percentages of that is the percentage from that number, not necessarily their capacity number. So when you look at it and go, okay, well, manual transmission, the capacity is 3%. And then let's say there's 5% of all the unscheduled retail orders are manual. It looks like there's a deficit of 2, but there really isn't, because it's 5% of, let's say it's 100 orders. Well, that's still way below below the 3%. So it can be a little misleading. So please, if you're on Bronco 6G and you're seeing that report, know how to read that report. There for a while, I used to get on there and say, hey, let me help you understand this report, because it's a little misleading if you see that and you see there's a negative and you see that, oh, I better stay away from hardtop and I better stay away from manual transmission because of this. That's not actually the case if you actually understand how that report reads. I actually had the Maverick brand manager that taught me how to read those and go, you're reading that report a little inaccurately. That percentage is off of a number that you can't see, because you don't know what the production level is going to be for that month, because they don't tell that. I mean, we can look at the history and say, okay, they make about 5 or 8,000. I think they make like more than 8,000 Broncos a month, right? So that their capacity is based on how many Broncos they're going to build that month, right? Not necessarily based on the unscheduled order. So hopefully that makes some sense. But I think you can order a manual transmission, and I don't think you're going to have an issue. And I can almost guarantee if you order with us, I can get it scheduled. But your local dealer, find out if they have, the biggest thing is find out if they have allocations, find out how many unscheduled orders they have, right? Because they could have, oh yeah, we got 5 allocations, not a problem. But they may not realize that they already have 5 unscheduled orders in there. And if you place yours or 6, somebody's not going to get scheduled this month. Right.
Yep.
Anyway. All right.
Do we know when they will start scheduling 26 Super Duty?
Next month, probably.
Okay.
I don't know. I think. Hold on. I have that information in here, but I was thinking they were going to do it this month. But I noticed for us, we've got 0. The only allocations we got on Super Duty this month were ones from last month that got carried over to this month. Which makes me think that they're not going to schedule 26 model year this month. It does say in here Super Duty is supposed to be August startup, and it's supposed to happen. But everything like ours, we have 21 allocations, and it says we're going to use them all this week for 25 model year. So anyway, they should be scheduling, according to the originally a couple of weeks ago, they said 26 startup was going to happen this month, with 6 weeks of allocations, the weeks of 7/21 through the weeks of 8/25. But I noticed this week it's 25 model year, not 26 model year. So, and it does depend on whether or not you have like a cabin chassis, or if you have a, if it's built at Ohio or Kentucky. So Ohio is building into 25 model year through August, whereas Kentucky is stopping the week of the 14th is the last week they're building at the 25, and then they're going to move the 26 model year the week of the 21st.
All
of
right.
July, so.
Any inside info on job 2 for the expedition? I have an Ultimate Platinum on order since April, but the wheels have been an issue. Hoping device holders come out soonish and my order gets them.
Okay, so the only information I have is that I know that their goal. I don't know if I should say anything because I want them to not give me information, but they said summer for the device holders. They said it'd be part of job 2, and they didn't give a date. I do know that their goal, I think, is for August, and I don't know if that means the order bank being open in August for the job 2, or if that's scheduling for August. Well, no, it wouldn't be because they would have announced it already. So I'd assume it's still another month away before we see the device holders available. And it'd probably be for September or October production of the expedition is what I would think. Now, we're going to talk about Platinum Ultimate here in just a little bit because there is something that is of news of that, and I didn't read it. I just saw the title of it, but I think it's probably a good thing you have your order in there because I think they're doing away with the availability package coming up. So we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah, in fact, you may have to switch to something else. We'll look at that. What they need to do is pick a different wheel so they can keep producing. Because if people want the rest of that package and it's not about the wheel, then let them pick a different wheel. Oh, okay. Okay, it's not. Okay, it's not going to be continued for good. And there's somebody that did a video.
Yeah.
I won't name names. If you remember, you might get a chance to hear about it on Friday. But that did a clickbait video on that, on the Platinum.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that later. We'll get to that part. We'll get to that in the dealer news, which we're about ready to get into here in a second.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I do. We have what do you know about the 2.0 eco engine for 25 Maverick?
I know a lot.
That's all they asked.
So there's a lot of incorrect information out there about some of this, and are you concerned about the changes with the gas filter? So a lot of people are concerned about that. So at one point, we thought the gas filter would lose 12 horsepower from that engine when the gas filter was put on. That is not the case. Even with the gas filter put on, we still get 250 horsepower. So no loss in horsepower like they initially thought. They removed all documents. There's still some dealers that have that information, the old technical guide out there that's inaccurate and out of date information. But Ford has pulled everywhere that they have the information. They have updated it to be corrected. Now, the gas filter will be put on, and the gas filter is only being put on the 2.0 EcoBoost engines if you're in a carb state. So there's 17 carb states that will get the filter. If you're like in Kansas, you won't have the filter on there. It won't have it.
Right.
So that's the other thing to remember is that you have to be in a carb state to get that. Now, when does that start? Production on those, because a lot of people are like, I noticed somebody in the Maverick Truck Club said, I'm crawling under my vehicle to see if it's got that gas filter. I'm like, you're wasting your time because they haven't produced any with a gas filter yet.
Yeah.
That doesn't start until July production. So there's not even actually, yeah, is it July? I think it's July production dates, maybe. Anyway, they haven't even produced a 2.0 with the gas filter yet. That's going to start in July. So job 3, July production for job 3 starts with July build dates. So if you have a June build date, you're not getting a filter. I believe it's for July. So that's kind of the information on that. So anyway, and there's no loss in production that there in the horsepower. So we don't need to worry about that.
Right.
And that goes for the Bronco Sport 2.0 as well. It's in the same boat there.
All right. And then I have one from Philippe who sent in his through email. My Ford dealer changed my CX axles last year under warranty, but failed again. Now they want $2,500 for the repair. My question is, how long do the CV axles are they supposed to last?
I don't know.
I don't know. Since you emailed that to me, I have it. I will go ask our service manager tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Neither of us are mechanics.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Those are the questions I had.
Okay. Well, let's get into dealer news here.
Dealer news.
Oh, you know what? Did you didn't remember you can show the comments on the screen.
Oh,
people were wanting that last week.
Yeah.
Let's remember to do that. So now there you go. So if you guys want it, there it is. All right. Anyway, dealer news. We'll get into this. So this first one is on the 25 model F-150 STX wheel and the 25 model F-150 XLT and Lariat standard wheel offering. Now this is an update because we actually talked about this not too long ago. So here's the update on this. I don't know if it's changed or what, but it says the STX, the standard 200A wheel offering, will change to the new 20-inch carbonized gray wheel. This is a no-cost option, and window labels, door labels, and marketing materials will reflect the wheel change. Scheduled orders will be mass amended via a spec change to the new wheel starting the week of 5/12/25 for 6/2/25 production. So before, you had to make the change. You had to make that change if you didn't want it or whatever. Now they're doing it. They're mass doing it, so you don't have to. So it says unscheduled orders will also be mass spec changed and may be adjusted to another STX PEP or a new trim level. So originally this wheel wasn't going to start right away, and so if you wanted one scheduled, you had to change to a different. You had to change like the 200A. And now the wheel is actually ready, available. So they're going to spec change those orders automatically. So nothing you have to do on your end. It's just going to happen. But you might want to know that what wheel you're going to get if you have that on your order. So unscheduled retail orders have been put on a 99 priority code to prevent scheduling. And it does say, if the customer accepts the change, please change the 99 priority code and have the customer sign the attached STX acknowledgement form. So there you go. There's something new. So if you do have an F-150 STX 200A PEP code order, you need to know that your order is probably put in a priority 99, which means it will not be scheduled. So you need to make sure your customer's okay with that. They need to sign the form that they know is going to have a different wheel than what they originally thought. And then once they sign that form, take it to the right priority so it can then be looked at for scheduling. So anyway, I got a feeling that's what we're going to have on the XLT and Lariat 2. Yep, looks like it. Says the 300A, 301A, 302A, and 500A, which is a Lariat standard, 18-inch wheel, which is pictured below. It's that chrome wheel. It's like a 5-spoke or 6-spoke wheel. Then it is that wheel is pictured below is unavailable. Another announcement will be shared with timing and details on the new wheel replacement when closer to implementation. In the interim, dealers should consider amending existing orders to one of the alternatives listed below. Scheduling has been paused for non-buildable configurations with the 18-inch wheel. So in this case, they're not re-speccing those orders. So if your vehicle has that wheel option, it will not be scheduled. It's going to be put on hold unless you change to a different wheel or different package to get a different wheel. So retail orders must be amended by the dealer to a buildable combination in order to schedule. When scheduling resumes, unscheduled retail orders will be put on a 99 priority code to prevent scheduling. The customer accepts the change. Please change the 99 priority code and have the customer sign an attached XLT acknowledgement form. Now, there is a new wheel they're going to have. It does say Q3 production. So I guess if you wanted to wait long enough, if you don't like the black appearance package wheel or the 20-inch chrome wheel on the Lariat, and you're like, nope, I'll wait, then basically that order will be put in a 99, held until that wheel's available. And once it's available, then you can have them sign the form that they know it's going to get a different wheel. So anyway, yep, a little different there. All right. This next one is on, there is a new 3 and 4 year Series XM with 360L plans available to order on 26 model year vehicles. So we noticed this on the Super Duty when I did the videos on that there was a option that you can add to get 3 years service of Series XM on your order when you ordered it from the factory. So instead of having to go through Sirius, you won't have to get that subscription. So you can get 3 years right from the factory, which is kind of cool. And I think I looked at it and the price, I can't remember what the price was on that. Well, actually it says in here. So we'll get into that. So, so other vehicles are on 26 model year are going to also have this same option, it looks like. So Ford and Lincoln are pleased to announce new prepaid extended Series XM with the 360L plans that are available at the time of customer order on select 26 model year vehicles with an average savings of 66%. So on the Ford vehicles, a 3-year plan is $300. So you're $100 a year.
Okay.
Pretty good deal. Less than $10 a month. It says starting with the 26 model year Super Duty, working to expand to all 26 model year vehicles. For Lincoln vehicles, it's a 4-year plan for $400. Starting with the 26 model year Nautilus and working its way to all the 26 model year vehicles. So this is pretty cool. It says important. If you purchase this prepaid plan, you do not receive a standard 3-month free Sirius XM trial. The plans are non-refundable and stay with the vehicle. Oh, so if you trade it in within the 3 years, then whoever gets it next will get free Sirius for a while.
Interesting.
Anyway, so no billing, it says streamlined subscription aligned with the new vehicle's warranty period, delivering convenience and simplicity. So anyway, and then there you go. And we usually I don't usually use it on my daily driver because I use Spotify when I listen to Spotify, so I can listen to playlists that I like. But I know that your mom likes Sirius XM, and there's places where you'll have Sirius XM. It's kind of hardwired in, so you can usually get better reception. So anyway, so there you go. That's cool. I like that they're making it available so like this to where you can order it with your vehicle and you want it. 3-year plan, right? I kind of like that. All right, this next one. It's probably out there in the news. You've already seen it. I think Dave actually talked about it last night or the other night. 25 model year Bronco Raptor and Badlands MSRP have been adjusted. So ours we actually just adjusted ours today. So it does say with the new 2-door only Bronco Strop replacing the 2- and 4-door Wildtrak model as the top off-road package in the base Bronco lineup, we are adjusting the price down on the Bronco Raptor and Bronco Badlands to provide customers who prefer a 4-door with another vehicle option. The 25 model year Bronco Raptor and Bronco Badlands competitive MSRP changes can be found in the latest price level. The new MSRP price list will be posted on for dealers on FMC dealer. MSRP prices will be available through Concepts. All right, so basically it doesn't say how much on here, but we did find out it's like on the Raptors they came down $10,040. So all of ours are $10,000 less right now. Now on the Badlands, it's $1,000 less MSRP. So there you go. So that's a good thing. I think it's funny though that the reason why is because the 2-door only Bronco Strop replaces 2- and 4-door. That's a crutch. We've known for a while that the Bronco Raptor price was too high. And they realized that when they had to throw in dealer cash of $10,000 on the Bronco on the 24 model year to get them to sell. Folks, I knew this was coming a long time ago.
Yeah.
They tried to get us to take allocations on Bronco Raptors, and we're like, no, thank you. Not at that price. We can't sell them. And they're like, well, there's going to be a price lowering coming up. They didn't tell us when. Well, here it is. So now they're $10,000 less. Now they're where they should be. Like ours are like $83,000 now. That's a little better. So now the Strop is only about $5,000 less than a Raptor.
Right.
So there's a question: which do you want? Now, what they needed to do on the Strop is they need to make a 3.0 liter engine in the Strop,
Yes.
with the Haas 4.0 suspension, in my opinion. But that's right. They didn't talk to me when they planned it. So anyway, all right. The next one is a mid-year price effective 6/2, which is June 2nd. That was last week. Again, these are notices from like last week while I was gone. So this mid-year price increased on a lot of vehicles. Actually, I don't have them all here, but I noticed almost every vehicle had a price increase. So it says in here, for details on the price list are posted on FMC dealer. Says Ford vehicle line dealer holdback, dealer discounts, and Ford vehicles FDAF contribution amounts remain unchanged. New price list will be posted. Says, as a reminder, Ford is not changing the price of any existing ground stock inventory or vehicles currently in transit. Vehicles produced on or after June 2nd of 25 will remain eligible for Ford Motor Company or the From America for America employee pricing.
Okay.
Dealer invoice changes will be effective in the 2nd. So anybody that had a confirmed order that they submitted prior to June 2nd are going to be on the old price. So make sure your dealership price protects that price, right? And they get that. So anyway, and I noticed a lot of them. So I downloaded all of them, but I didn't look and see the difference on them. But almost every model did have some price changes of some sort. So maybe if I'm really ambitious this next week, I'll go through them and see what the difference is on them. So, and we can maybe talk about that next week. But all right. All right, here's the one on the Expedition. So it does say in here, effective May 7th of 2025, we have temporarily suspended production of Platinum Ultimate Package available on 25 model year Expedition, impacting fleet, retail, and stock units. The 24-inch wheels exclusive to the Platinum Ultimate Package are not currently available to order, and we will not be scheduling vehicles with this option for at least 1 month. It says vehicles with the Platinum Ultimate Package that were previously scheduled have been pushed out. We understand that this is temporary unavailability may affect your current orders and future planning. We plan to provide a future update on the status of the Platinum Ultimate Package in approximately 1 month. So, like I said, there is somebody out there, a YouTuber out there, that mentioned, they said that that something about the expensive Expedition is a 1-year thing and already is done within a year. And he's talking about this. But the thing of it is that if you read this, it says that that's not the plan for future. It even says in here that they're hoping that it just only lasts a month.
Yeah.
Right? So, again, clickbait to get views, whatever. Anyway, all right, moving on. So, but for right now, yes, Platinum Ultimate looks like is not available to, it's available to order, but it will not get scheduled, basically is what it's saying. So, it does say in here, for stock orders, if you have existing stock orders of the 25 Expedition with the Platinum Ultimate Package, we recommend you remove this package to increase ability for these orders to get scheduled sooner. And for retail orders, for customers that have placed retail orders for the Expedition with the Ultimate Package, we encourage you to discuss the option of removing this package to facilitate faster scheduling of their vehicles. I think what Ford needs, which they should do, if it's just the wheel as being a problem, so make it available as a package with a 22-inch wheel.
Mm-hmm.
So just, right? And just make it a cheaper package. I don't know. Anyway, again, they didn't listen to me. All right, this next one is the Ford Connectivity Package, now available in 26 model year. So the on a lot of vehicles, we already know this. It's on the Expedition. My Expedition's got the Ford Connectivity Package. 26 model year Super Duty gets it as well. It does say in here, now available on all 26 model year Sync 4, 4A, and 4 digital experience vehicles, excluding Escape. The Ford Connectivity Package is an all-in-one connected services plan that keeps owners and their passengers connected from anywhere with unlimited Wi-Fi, up to 10 different devices, apps, maps, and more. So Escape will carry over 25 model year a la carte connectivity products. It does say in here, everybody else. So vehicles with What features are included in the connectivity package? Vehicles with the 4 digital experience. So there are a couple different, depends on what you have here. If you have the 4 digital experience, then you have the 4G, 5G connectivity, unlimited Wi-Fi hotspots, up to 10 different devices, Google Maps, games and karaoke, audio streaming, video streaming like Max, Prime, Prime Video, Peacock, video conferencing like WebEx and Zoom, voice assistant, Google Assistant, and Google Play Store. It does say in here, vehicles with Sync 4 and 4A features may be vary by trim and model, and they would get the 5G or 4G, 5G connectivity, unlimited Wi-Fi hotspots, and up to 10 different devices, connected nav, embedded games and karaoke, the audio streaming, video streaming like YouTube, and voice assistant like Alexa. So it's a little different whether you had the 4 digital experience or if you have the other. Now, to tell whether or not you have the 4 digital experience, basically, if you have the Google stuff, the Google Maps, the Google Assistant, and all that stuff, then you have the 4 digital experience. Otherwise, you have the other. So, and now it does say you can do a one-time purchase, 7 years of $745. That is, you can order that. You can get that from your dealer if you want. And I didn't try to do that when we purchased our Expedition.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also a 1-year trial that you get when you get your vehicle. But then after that, there's an annual plan of $150. So that's probably the way I'll go because I want to continue that. So what they've kind of done is taken the Wi-Fi hotspots, the navigation, and your connectivity and put them all into one. That's what they've done. So I like that you don't have to work through AT&T, to do the hotspots. It's all included in there.
Yeah.
So there you go. So anyway, so now they're going to roll that more over into all the 26 model year vehicles. So, and then lastly, important update on the 25 model year transit modem delete. It says due to production constraints, the embedded modem that is contained within the radio options below are no longer available on the 25 model year transit for the remainder of the model year. And that's option 58U, the AM/FM stereo with the 4.0-inch multifunction display, Bluetooth, and dual USB ports, and option 58V, Sync 3 with the 4-inch multifunction display, AM/FM stereo, Bluetooth, and dual USB ports. Starting June 16th, 2025, all existing unscheduled and newly placed 25 model year transit orders with option 58U and 58V, which I just talked about, will be mass spec changed to add the embedded modem delete option 59F. Customers taking delivery of an impacted 25 model year transit without an embedded modem must sign the attached customer acknowledgement form. Dealerships must include the signed form in the deal jacket. So there you go. Anyway, so you can add the option 59F if you don't care about the embedded modem. I think you can also switch over to a different system. So I think they have another one available if you want to switch over to that one. So that's that.
All right.
There you go. And there were some order guide updates that I haven't had a chance to look at yet. So some order guides changed on the Ranger, the Bronco, Expedition, Bronco Sport, as well as the F-150 Lightning. And again, I don't know what's changed. It looks like, on the Ranger, it's probably the Job 2 stuff because we talked about that. And Bronco's probably Job 2 as well. So we'll need to look at this for next week. So looks like I don't see anything under late availability on the Bronco. Something's changed with the Big Ben option pages. I can tell you what pages, because they'll tell you what pages are different, but they won't tell you what's different on the page. And so the Big Ben optional equipment is different on the Bronco, and that's it, just on the Big Ben. And then of course the major product changes pages are different. Again, it doesn't say what's different on there, so we'll have to look at that. And then on the Expedition, it looks like the major product changes sheets are different. It does say in here that, the active optional equipment page is something's changed there. And then also on the trimmer optional equipment page, something's changed. And the platinum optional equipment pages, something's changed. and the King Ranch. So I guess all the trim levels. Optional equipment changes. And then on Bronco Sport, the Big Ben optional equipment pages, something's changed on those as well. There you go. I'll have to check that out. And then on the Lightning, it looks like something's product major pages. Looks like job 2 for the F-150 Lightning editions are on there, which we already knew. Actually, those are probably already on there. And then the Pro Series optional equipment changed, and then the color and availability changed.
Yeah.
So we'll get in. We'll look at that. I'll leave these here for next week, and we'll look in to see what's changed. All right. Any questions before we dive into recalls?
Nope.
Nothing? All right.
Yes. There it is. Any chance 2025 F450 will still be built July 14th?
July 14th is 25 model year production.
Okay.
So that's this week's notes was that they were scheduling Super Duty 25 model year Super Duties for the week of July 14th.
Yeah.
So there are some 450s that will probably be built that week. I know it says it's a limited availability, but that just means they're limited on how many they can do. But yeah. So I think 26 model year production starts the week of the 21st.
Yeah.
So, yep. There you go. All right. Ready for recalls?
Yep.
All right. I'll put these on again. So again, these are recalls for the last 2 weeks. So this isn't all recalls just in the last week. All right. So this first one came out. This is safety recall 25S52. This came out May 27th. This is on 23 to 25 model year Escape and Corsair, 24 to 25 Nautilus, 25 Bronco Sport and Mavericks, equipped with an engine block heater system. So this is what we talked about. 6,781 vehicles are affected by this. And it says in some of the affected vehicles, the engine block heater element may overheat while the engine block heater system is plugged in. In the event of an overheating engine block heater element, engine coolant may leak, and the engine block heater power cable connector may experience heat damage. An overheating engine block heater element increases the risk of an underhood fire. To reduce the risk of an underhood fire, refrain from plugging in vehicle engine block heater systems until the safety recall remedy repair is completed. And we don't know when. This is an advance notice on this one here, so we don't have a fix on that or when we're going to see that. So anyway, all right. This next one is a customer satisfaction program, not necessarily a recall. 25B24 for 23, 24, and 25 model year E-Transits. Does say 6,857 vehicles are affected by this one. And it says this program will be in effect through May 30th of 2026 with no mileage limit for this program. So it says in some of the affected vehicles, a customer's vehicle may not start due to a depleted 12-volt battery. This issue may occur after the vehicle has been parked for an extended period of time, i.e. 2 months. They actually say 2 months. The customer may see a cluster message such as 12-volt battery fault, service soon, before the 12-volt battery is completely depleted. So, and in this in here, it does say owner letters are expected to be mailed the week of June 16th to those people. All right. This next one is a safety recall. 25S48 it says do not drive vehicles. So not talking about stop delivery. Do not drive any of these vehicles. It says 24 to 25 model year Broncos. So 3 vehicles. There's only 3 vehicles affected by this one. And it says in some of the affected vehicles, the nuts attaching the front lower control arm may not have been torqued to specification. This can result in separation of the front lower control arm from the frame. Separation of the lower control arm from the frame may result in loss of directional control, increasing the risk of a crash. So those 3 owners will get should have been mailed last week. So it's good that it's only 3 people. All right. That's only 3 loaners. That's a little easier to handle. All right. This next one is a safety compliance recall think I've seen that before. 2020 to 2021 model year Aviator and Explorer vehicles. And this one is actually an update. This is there was an advance notice back on February 17th. So this is the official notice now. 240,334 vehicles are affected by this one. And some of the affected vehicles, some of the seat restraint fasteners may not be properly secured. Seat restraints with improperly secured fasteners may not properly restrain an occupant during a crash, increasing the risk of injury. So, yeah, so letters should have gone out last week on this one for those owners. All right, so that means that the repair is available. If the letters go out, that means the repair is available. All right, this next one is Safety Recall 25S35 for 25 model year Explorers with a 2.3 liter engine. And so the advance notice came out a while back, and this is the official notice. The recall is available for 24,521 vehicles. And the powertrain control module may experience an internal reset while driving. This PCM reset could result in a malfunction indicator light displayed in the instrument panel cluster, a temporary loss of vehicle acceleration, or a loss of motor power. A PCM reset may also engage the transmission's parking pawl temporarily while the vehicle is in motion. A transmission parking pawl engagement while driving at speeds greater than 10 miles an hour may result in damage to the vehicle's park system. If the park system damage has occurred and the electronic parking brake is not engaged, the vehicle may experience a roll-in park, increasing the risk of a crash. Loss of motor power due to PCM resets also increases the risk of a crash. So letters are going to went out last week to these owners. So there you go. So I like that we're getting some recalls that are available. So this in here is a supplement number 1 to Safety Recall 25S31 for 2018 to 2020 model year at Ford Expedition and Lincoln Navigator vehicles. So originally the advance notice came out March 31st. So this is an update to that one because the vehicle population has been added to the field service action, including production from September of 2018. So they updated the numbers. It's now population is now 7,623. It says incremental increase of U.S. population of affected vehicles is 7,623. The total affected now is 112,939. So it says in some of the affected vehicles, the driver and or front passenger seatbelt retractor pretensioners may deploy inadvertently while the vehicle's engine is on. Inadvertent deployment of the retractor pretensioner will result in a seatbelt being locked in position and will not retract or extend, which is noticeable to the occupant. While the primary seatbelt locking functions continue to function properly, the seatbelt that does not retract or extend may result in an injury in the event of a crash. So again, this is an advance notice. So once a recall is available, then the letters will go out. All right. This next one is a supplement number 1 to Safety Recall 24S02, which is 2011 and 2019 model year Explorers and Police Interceptor vehicles. This is the A-pillar applique. I think just a year ago we talked about this, but I feel like we did not too long ago. But it does say 1,886,652 vehicles are affected by this one. So in this in here, they updated it because they updated the repair orders and the labor and parts and the technical instructions. So they updated all that on this recall. So I won't go through that recall because that's on some of the older vehicles. All right. Okay. This next one is Compliance Recall 25C14 for 21 to 22 model year Bronco vehicles. Hey, that's mine. 12,234 vehicles are affected by this one. And it says, according to Ford's records, certain 21 to 22 model year Bronco vehicles may not have the remedy for Compliance Recall 22C27 installed correctly, but were recorded as having received the repair successfully. Because the correct software update may not have been installed on these vehicles, the underlying conditions specified in Compliance Recall 22C27 may still exist. Some of those affected vehicles may not conform to the requirements specified by the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard. Rear visibility. The rear view camera image may reappear on the sync screen after a backing event has been completed while in 4x4-wheel drive low mode. The reappearance of the rear view camera image may distract the vehicle, increasing the risk of a crash. So letters are going to go out next week for those owners. So we'll see if I get one. I'm not really worried. I usually don't back up when I'm a four-wheel drive low. All right. This one here is Safety Recall 25S60 for 25 model year Explorers with the standard brakes. So they have bigger brakes on some of the vehicles. This only affects 3 vehicles. This in here, dealers are to some of the affected vehicles, the front caliper bolts may be loose or missing. Loose or missing brake caliper bolts may increase stopping distance or wheel damage, increasing the risk of a crash. Dealers are to inspect the front brake caliper bolts and replace the caliper and caliper bolts if missing. So the 3 people affected by this will be get letters next week. All right. This next one is an advance notice for Safety Recall 25S61 for 25 model year Bronco Sport and 23 to 25 model year Escape vehicles with a 1.5 liter engine. Only 403 vehicles are affected by this one. It says in all affected vehicles, the cylinder head may have a loose ball plug or ball plugs. This condition may result in a rapid oil leak if a ball plug comes out of the cylinder head. An oil leak in the presence of an ignition source, such as a hot engine or exhaust components, can increase the risk of a fire. In addition, the loss of oil can result in engine seizure and loss of motor power, increasing the risk of a crash. So again, this is an advance notice, so we don't have a fix for the recall yet on for those vehicles. All right. Next one is a customer satisfaction program 25P16 for 25 model year Mustang Mach-E vehicles. So it says this program is in effect through June 30th of 2026 for vehicles within the new bumper-to-bumper warranty coverage period. So it says only 889 vehicles are affected by this. And it says on all of the affected vehicles, the incorrect front license plate bracket was supplied for dealer installation. The incorrect bracket does not properly fit the Sport Appearance Package front fascia order code 55R, preventing proper installation. So if you got the black, this only affects vehicles on the Mustang Mach-E with the Sport Appearance Package, basically is what it's saying. So, and then letters, they will not be mailed out because they will just need to get a new front license plate bracket. All right, this next one is Compliance Recall 25C15 for 22 to 23 model year F-150 Lightning vehicles. This only affects 6 vehicles. And according to their Ford's records, this is where they basically, there was a Compliance Recall 23C38 that was installed incorrectly. So they said it was shown that it was done successfully, but it wasn't. So we saw that. This has to do with the sync software. So those vehicles may have to have that done. Letters are going to go out this week for those owners. And then I think they can even do an over-the-air update on that. So, all right. Customer Satisfaction Program 25B23 for 25 model year Super Duty, King Ranch, and Platinum trim vehicles. They say vehicles equipped with the carpeted floor mats instead of the thermoplastic olefin floor mats. Says this program will be in effect through June 10th of 2026 with no mileage limit. 207 vehicles are affected by this, and all affected vehicles, a customer ordered a vehicle that should have been equipped with thermoplastic olefin floor mats. I don't know if I say that right. And received carpeted floor mats instead. So you got the wrong floor mats. Letters are going to go out this week. And this is the last one. is Safety Recall 24S55. And this is for 21 and 22 model year, various vehicles. So let's go through these. Aviators, 21 to 22 model year. Broncos, 21 to 22 model year. Edges, 21 to 22. Explorer, 21 to 22. 21 Explorer as well, built at the SHO plant. That would be your probably your hybrids that year. F-150, 21 to 22, built in Dearborn and Kansas City. And Nautilus, 21 to 22, built at Oakville. 91,093 vehicles are affected by this one. And some of the affected vehicles, it may be that an engine valve may crank and lead to an engine failure. An engine failure can lead to a loss of motor power, which can increase the risk of a crash. So the letter should go out next week to those owners. So there's 2 possible recalls I can have for the Bronco. We'll just see if I get anything next week. I think both of them are supposed to come out next week. So there we go. Whew.
That was a lot.
It is. That's 2 weeks worth. But yeah, there you go. All right. That's that.
All right.
Any
I don't have any questions.
For Is It True? So last week we were not there, but see if I get this right. But at Carlisle, they did show off a new package for the Mustang. So it really isn't is it true? It is true. So, but let's go over this and show this off and see what's all included here with this. So we do have a new package for the Mustang here. It does say, it mentions a 26 model year right here. Right. So first of all, the color, check out that color. So that's a retro color.
Yeah.
Right. So we have the Fox body is popular, right? People wanted that Fox body. So it's called the Mustang, the new Ford Mustang FX package, as stands for Fox body, but you can see what it's supposed to look like there. So anyway, we can read the article and everything, but you can get this again from theroad.ford.com if you want to find any of their articles on different stuff. But so they kind of show off a couple of vehicles. In fact, what's funny is this vehicle on the right over here, there's one that's being auctioned off on Bring a Trailer today. That is that identical vehicle.
Yeah.
It's like, that's perfect timing. I don't know if they put that out there when this came out or not, but anyway, so that's kind of the inspiration for this package. So the standard wheel is a new take on Mustang's existing 19-inch split 5-spoke design, while the Ford Performance package draws inspiration from the iconic Fox body designs. Both wheel designs are finished in a mid-gloss Oxford white and feature color-matched center caps stamped with the Ford or Mustang GT word mark in an all-new font, which is kind of cool. Developed specifically for the FX package and patented for the Ford vehicle personalization team. This small touch was inspired by the word mark that inspired on the front and rear of the 87 to 93 Mustang models. That same touch now appears on the rear window of the coupe models with the Mustang FX package. And actually they don't show that, but you can kind of see the white wheel with the center cap. You can see it's kind of this plaid inserts in these Recaro seats. But you can see that you're going to have the white nostrils, I think, on some of those, the white pony on the front. So you kind of see all that there, but there you go. Pretty cool. So I don't know for sure, and you can kind of see it in the back as well. That looks like, and again, they don't show the back glass, which I kind of wanted to see. It does say the 26 Mustang lineup will be available to order in late June. So it doesn't say, I mean, this makes it sound like it does say the Mustang FX package is available on GT premium models, regardless of body style or transmission choice, and with or without the performance package. The new paints and seat belts will be available across Mustang lineup. So they mentioned some seat belts in there. I forgot to mention that. Where is that at? So the playful answers. So let's say featuring city silver and Adriatic blue thread on the seats, dash, door panels, steering wheel. I don't know. They mentioned seatbelt as well. So somewhere. Anyway, there's some seatbelts too that are going to be available, but it looks like that color is going to be available across the lineup.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I mean, bring back some of these fun old colors, right?
Yeah.
They need to do that to the Bronco as well. But anyway, that's kind of cool. So I didn't, like I said, I was on vacation. I didn't get the information. We were traveling a lot, so I didn't really do a video on this. I think this came out Saturday at the Carlisle event, maybe Friday. But there you go. So here's the seatbelt. Seatbelt option available in International Orange, Prime Blue, and Black with red stripe. And again, they don't have to show a picture of that. Well, here's a photo album. Maybe it'll be in a photo album.
Do you recognize the female in the picture?
I'm not really paying attention that much.
I'm pretty sure that's the designer that we met.
Oh, yeah.
At the embargoed event. I was like, wait a second. I've met her.
So I do like that it's an outline, the white outline.
Yes, I do too. It looks sharp.
Oh, there's that Mustang in the window there. So there you go. I haven't done, like I said, I didn't do a video on this, but
can't see the seatbelts there.
Nope, I don't see the seatbelts anywhere. But there you go. So might write an article on this and have it so I can, it can be out there. But anyway, pretty cool. So there you go. Just want the jumpsuit, right?
Right. That's what I want.
Give me the jumpsuit. Oh, wait. I clicked on the images and I wasn't showing everybody. Oops. I always forget to do that when they put it in a new tab. I always forget to highlight that. So there's the images, what we were looking at. You guys weren't seeing, and we thought you could. So this is the, we were talking about this. That's what we were talking about. Mustang on the window, which we were looking for. So anyway, and then we commented on this too. So there you go. Now you've seen it. But again, you can go to their website and you can look at it yourself. So there you go. It's available. It's available for anybody, but there you go. So there's that. All right. Any other questions?
Not that I've seen. Motor Trend's images are good and cover the whole car.
Yeah. Like I said, all the media outlets had access to that last week. But again, I didn't realize they moved it from media. Because I looked at media.ford.com. I'm like, I don't see it. Well, it wasn't on there. But so that's the website now that they've turned it all to. Now that I know that, I will stay more up to date for you guys.
If only we'd gone to Carlisle.
Port Authority and all them, they're always on top of that. So
if only we'd gone to Carlisle.
Yeah, they will always do something at Carlisle every year. So, all right. To our topic.
Okay.
So we'll talk more about my vacation trip. So we, across the United States, we have some great national parks, great lands that we have. And, it was kind of fun. I mean, I've gone to a couple. We've been to the Smoky Mountains and beautiful country down there. We went to a lot of the national monuments.
Yeah.
We went to Washington, D.C., and we saw a lot of those and get a little more about the history and such and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Of course, bucket list for a lot of people is to go to the Grand Canyon, and that was our, one of the things we wanted to do was go to the Grand Canyon and going there and just seeing how beautiful it was. Now, actually, I got images. So you guys, so if you're listening to the podcast, you might want to watch the live stream because I'm going to pull up some of my images, and I don't know how well I'll do with this, but anyway, what we did is we went to both the south and the north rim. So if you don't know much about here, let's go ahead and try to get this, share this screen. I might have to do this multiple times because see if I do this right. Um, there is a south rim and a north rim to the Grand Canyon. So that's basically which side of the Grand Canyon you're on, if you're on the south or the north side.
Yeah.
The most popular is the south side because there's so many more spots that you could see the Grand Canyon without having to do a lot of driving. North rim is very, it's less populated,
Yeah.
and it is a different look to it and everything. But so here's, I can click through some of the photos that I took of this. And so again, when we got there, it was like raining. Like it was raining on the way up there. I said, great, it's gonna rain on us. But then it did clear up for us. But you can really see like they say there, it's about the layers. And there, everything right here in these pictures I'm taking, there's actually a rail for some of it. But so yeah, you could see all that. So eventually it did clear up and we could get some better views. You can kind of see those clouds starting to clear up a little bit. You can kind of see there's even like this is like an amphitheater thing where they'll talk about different things for groups and all that. So this is like, hey, you remember when you were kids and you did a slideshow? Here, let's do the slideshows of our vacation. That's what you guys are getting with me right now. But no, so beautiful views. And of course, I took a lot of pictures of some of the different things so that we can read it later. But they talk about the layers and just look at the different layers in there. The Colorado River is down there somewhere. We couldn't see it here, but we did find some places where we could see it more in some different areas. But you can kind of see it a little bit in that picture there. Like I said, we took the desert view across, and we also did a little hike. So if you want to get a hike and see kind of down further, there is the Bright Angel Trail is what I recommend, because you can go as far as you want. So there we go. We all saw that the big rapids down there. So there you go. A little bit more of the river. Now, as awesome as our phone, yours probably does the same thing. I could zoom to 30 times on my phone, which is crazy. So most of the pictures I took were just with my phone.
Someone just asked that question. Did you use a camera or a phone?
Yeah, I used my phone. But yeah, that's like 20 or 30 times zoom down there. Hard part of when you do 30 times zoom is being able to keep it steady.
Right.
To get the picture. But a lot of them, you wanted to see the vastness of it. So I left it in 0.5 because I'm like, I want to see the whole wide angle of this.
Right.
Because it's as far as your eyes can see, which is amazing. So, and we just clicked a lot of pictures. Now, these people are just crazy. There are people out there on this cliff. There's no rail. They're just out there. One little slip. I want to know how many people have died in the Grand Canyon from going out there and doing silly stuff like that. Anyway, but there's a rail. So these people actually around the other side over there, it's where they can get down onto this rock. But yeah, kind of crazy. But yeah, Grand Canyon, you got to go. I mean, pictures just don't get it.
See, that's proof that there was water.
Yeah.
Up to the top of that land.
Yep. Now, the big question here is whether you believe that the
Earth flooded,
that the Earth is 1 million years old, or if you're more on the biblical side that you believe it's several thousands years old. And so there actually is a tour group that says they have like a different view on the Grand Canyon and what really happens then, that was the water just eroded it over time, over 1 million years, or if some big event happened like an earthquake or something that created it and created a bunch of lakes to open. I don't know, but it's hard to tell. I don't know what I believe, but anyway, this is crazy though. So you can see
I believe that the world was flooded at one point.
Yeah.
Because of how much ice there is in the North and South Pole. Yeah. There's so much ice on either end. The world could have been flooded during like a volcanic event or something that caused it to heat up extremely, the atmosphere to be heated up. Everything melted and then everything froze back up.
Yep. All right, skip over some photos here. Let's back up. So there we are, about ready to go on the trail, Bright Angel Trailhead. So we ended up walking this trail, and had to get the pictures of the trail. But
we always do.
Yeah. So then you can get further down on this trail. So this trail has 2 tunnels, one at 0.2 mile and one at 0.8. So again, these national parks are parks that you can see the trail coming down that you can hike. You can, like, we end up going to Zion as well, where they do rock climbing there. But I mean, again, just clicking pictures off, you can see there's the tunnel we're going to approach. You can see through there. But this trail also, the mules also go on this trail. So if you if you don't like mule poop, then you may not want to go on this trail, because they actually ride the mules up and down these trails too in the mornings. But yeah, oh, there's a video. Oh wait, you got to check this out though. We even saw mountain goats. Let me get a video. I don't know if you can hear that or not. I can hear it. So mountain goats were there, and there are quite a few of them there. I mean, just right there in front of us. So it's like, oh, okay, we're just gonna eat. You just don't worry about us. But they were there. We just walked right by them, and they were right above us. One of them actually plopped down on one of the rocks, like moved, and one of the rocks almost hit us. I was like, there you go. Take a selfie with the goat. Anyway, but yeah. So in there, you can see we had Bright Angel Trail. We had to get some pictures of that. But anyway, so yes. So there you go. But it was a blast. So
were you given permission to use these pictures tonight?
Maybe not all of them. I wasn't going to use all the photos. All right. Let's see. What else we got? So she was taking pictures of me on the trail too, and I didn't know it. I was like, what are you doing? Taking pictures of you walking the trail. I'm like, oh, okay. But we got really close. We got down to 0.8. We got really close to some of these cliffs. I think it was here. Let me pull this up. This is the second tunnel that we went through. But we got really close to these over here. And we were like, well, if we got down to there, you can get really close. But anyway, so I think I got some pictures of where the trail actually goes to. You can see some green down in there. It actually goes down to, there's a campground down there. So you can get down there. I think at 3 miles, you get down there and there's like a campground. So people will camp at night, right? And then hike out. But anyway, so yeah. So good times there. Like I said, Grand Canyon is a really good place. The North Rim, we went to the North Rim as well. Again, less traveled. There's two like main trails you can go. One on pavement. Mm-hmm. You go to the visitor center and you get this look. I don't know if I got pictures of the visitor center. I don't know. I don't think I got pictures of the actual visitor center itself, but the views from the visitor center. So this is one of the first views that you see here. Let me pull that back up. So this is one of the first views. And why is it that bigger? Anyway. But yeah, so that is, again, the other side of the Grand Canyon, how vast and wide that is. But, and then there's some trails. We walk some trails there. You can kind of see we're on this. This is actually a panoramic view. We're on this like patio. People just sit there and just watch the sunset and the sunrise. It's just amazing. But anyway, but they do have a couple trails. There's a couple ledges. You can see one there in the distance over there. I guess you guys can't see that, but my cursor. But on the right side there, you can see that coming out. So we did get out there. And there's one on the other side, on the left side as well. So, but that's pretty cool. So let's see here. Click through some of these pictures. But there's a couple different trails there on that one where you can go down a little bit. And so you have some pretty cool views of it too. And there's even a picnic table so you can camp out, I think. But yeah, pretty cool. But then also there's another trail you can take that takes you to the Angel's Window, which we did. By the time we got over there, it was, again, started raining on us. So, but I got to show you this view here. So So this is a view of that Angel's Window. So that's a ledge that goes out over this rock, with this opening in it. And that is not. So there you go. Still a ways away from it. So there's kind of what that looks like. And by the time we got there, of course, we're walking to it on the trail in the rain. Like everybody's like leaving. It's like it's raining, we're leaving. So I got out there and there's nobody there. But as it rained, the rock's kind of slick, but you have this rail. So I actually did go out there onto that rock and get some images. You can see that rain just coming in. It's kind of crazy. I did a panoramic, which I could see all the way around me, which is kind of cool. And then you could see down. And I didn't realize until I got further along that you could see the Colorado River way out there in the distance from that. So there you go. I think you can kind of see it. It's what looks muddy. It's a muddy
Right.
at that time because of all the rain that come down and the rain coming off of the mountains.
Yeah.
So it was really muddy. So anyway, so that was kind of cool. And then there's some other points too that you can go to. And then of course we did some off-roading to get some places that you need a 4-wheel drive vehicle with some clearance to get on. And that was, we did Swamp Point. We were going to do Point Sublime, which is pretty popular, but it's a lot further than we thought it would be. So we started with Swamp Point, which kind of divides and you go to one trail or the other. And it was 7.7 miles to a lookout area. So we did that. So we get to those pictures, kind of show you that. If I can find them. Took a lot of pictures. Oh, those are in a different folder. Hold on a second. Here we go. Why this is there. Anyway, all right. So these here are taken from on that trail. So that's what we saw. Again, a different view. Every time you go around something, you see a different view of this, the Grand Canyon. But you can kind of see that view that we got. And pretty soon, I think I ended up taking some. And again, we did a little bit of trail walking. There we go. So selfies, I think, are okay. But there's the Bronco with the background, with the Grand Canyon mud on the side of it. And we saw so many deer as well as we were going through this. There was deer all over, and we probably saw 24 deer on this trail, which is really cool to see and everything. But and the service, they just come through there because a lot of the so they in the North Rim, it's May 15th to October 15th is when it's open. Okay. So they just come through there and cut down the trees that had fallen on the trail. So you were lucky. So yeah, we come in at a good time. Of course, after we knew that it was going to be open in the summer, but yeah. And then of course we got in there, and then we started going to the other trail to the Point Sublime, and then we realized it was another 13. And we thought it was just another 6 from when we came back to the point. That was just going to be like 6 miles, but it was further than that. But anyway, yeah. Of course, had to get the Bronco. We ended up doing a lot of Broncos in the foreground on our trip. People like, what are you doing? So, and I'll show you in a little bit because we took some at some of the different parks, the entrance. You're like, okay, if we're gonna switch this up, well, then we want footage of when it wasn't. Yep. Documentation. Yeah. Here, I got a couple videos. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. There we go. So you can kind of see what that ledge looks like. And actually, this was on the way to Point Sublime, and we only got part way, and we ended up turning around at a turnaround point. But kind of see it's just rocky road, and such. You just have to a couple times. It just depends on how much you want to be jarred. You just have to come down off that rock a little bit slow. Nothing really difficult or technical that we couldn't have figured out or anything, but just really rough, rocky road that and that's pretty much what we saw. For the most part, Some of it was just tree trunks, in front, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know if it was going or not. But anyway, there you go. So there's that. So those were we had a lot of fun on that trail. So that ended up being we did a little bit of trail riding there, but also outside of the national parks, we actually did go to Sedona. So if you haven't been to Sedona, that's pretty cool. We did actually go on a couple different trails, Diamondback, Gulch, as well as we did Outlaw Trail, which is a really long one. And then we also did a trail that took us from one of the high interstates that goes to Phoenix over to Sedona, and then it gave us some incredible views as well. So
see, this is the one that Douglas Blair, you on your video, he took some screenshots of this view and has it as his screensaver.
Right. I mean, so we're right on that edge. We just stopped. This trail was a little more difficult, a lot more rockier, big rocks than what you saw on that. I might show you some of the videos of that to get up to this area, but the trail kind of came off of the dirt road onto a more complex trail. It was like rated as a 5 or 6, I think, according to Onyx Off-Road. And this is the view you get to see when you're up there. And so you can kind of see that right there. But what's funny is I'm going to show you some pictures in a second, because there are these pink Jeeps in Sedona where they'll take you out on the different trails so you can see the different scenery and such. And for them, that they could see a beautiful scenery. And I'll show you what they get to see versus what we get to see. So there's the view across that valley. You can see clear across. Sedona is in the middle there. But we just saw the pink Jeeps, like, wait a minute, what's down there? There they are. I'm like, oh, how cute. So you get to go out a little bit on a trail.
Right.
And
for those that don't know, what is pink Jeep?
They're basically, it's a Jeep that they converted and put some seats in the back of it. So basically a Jeep Gladiator in a sense.
Right.
But they do upgrade the suspension. They upgrade the suspension enough so they can go on these, but still the people are like moving around, and everything. But they were able with those to get to, there's some rocks down there, but we actually at one point we're like, we didn't want to leave. This is so beautiful. We didn't want to leave. So we went and grabbed our lunch and we ate. We sat down on this rock right here.
Yeah.
And we ate and looked at the.
Too bad you didn't have your lawn chairs. You could have just sat out there.
Oh, we had them.
Oh.
We keep those in the Bronco. You never know an event we're gonna pull those out, but yeah. So yeah. So there's those big Jeeps. And this is a video I did for members. So again, if you're a member, you get a member video as well. So yeah, so there you go. But that one I did get permission to show. So you can see that was just pretty incredible. But then we did get further down on the trail. Of course, we had to get the Bronco in there. So we got some Bronco pictures with the background. And then we got further down. We also got we stopped again at another kind of a overlook area and got some more Bronco pictures on that area. So again, Bronco gets to be the highlight because it got us there, right? So this is a view from where the pink Jeep was,
right,
up to where we were. So up there on that hill is where we were. It was pretty cool, pretty awesome. It was a lot of fun. That trail, we had a lot of fun. It was like we were on that one for like 5 hours though, and part of that was sitting down and eating lunch. But yeah.
Then you did some hiking.
Yep, and here's some of the trails. She's helped me. She's spotting me there. So by the way, I had that camera on the front, and we'll talk about that. If you look at these videos, check out the front on the winch. if you can see it close enough. I don't know if you can see it.
I saw it.
You see it?
I had to
So
look close.
if you saw close enough, on the winch is where I put my GoPro. And the 2 GoPros that I have, you can connect up using the app, and you can see the preview of what the GoPro sees.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically created my own front camera when my Big Ben Bronco doesn't have a front camera.
Right.
So I was able, no, I didn't have the lines. I'm like, you know what I need to do is on the camera, I need to mark little lines, figure out where the tires are and put little lines like right below. But I had kind of figured out, how far in it was from the edge. But that worked really well to see a camera. And there were several times where I know your mom's like, well, do you want me to spot you? And I'm like, with the camera, I'm okay.
You're right.
Know? And so it's not too bad, but that worked really well. So if you're out there and you want a front camera option, I've had the dash cam system where I took the backup camera that was in the back and I put it on the front, and that worked really well because I was able to invert it, because a lot of the cameras that go in the back are made to be looking backwards, right? So it's inverted from what your view really gets. So when you move that to the front, then it's going to be backwards. But your camera, when we got it, it was able to let me invert that to where it looked right. But I got another dash cam because that one I ended up, the cord or something broke on it, so I ended up needing to get a new one. The next one I got didn't allow me to do it. It allowed me to flip it upside down, but it didn't allow me to invert it. And so I've gone to the GoPro setup. And what's great about that is not only have the GoPro on the front, but I'm also recording the footage. So I'm getting a double thing right there. So I'm recording the footage and I'm able to see what's going on in the front. And I do have a GoPro I have 3 batteries for it. So it'll last a long time, even when it's recording footage. So, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So we got some trails. We got to see some of that. We did, I didn't get a lot of footage at Zion National Park. We'll probably have some later. So we did Zion National Park, which is cool. Again, no reception there, but there's a lot of traffic. So if you end up going there, just plan for that, because it's like one road in, one road out. And you can go when you leave it, you go to Springdale, which is a nice little like resort kind of town, a lot of shopping and that kind of stuff, which is kind of cool. You go through a really cool tunnel, but you have to stop. Only one goes at a time through the tunnel. The tunnel has 2 lanes, but because there's so many buses and RVs going through, that they can't go, they won't fit in the right lane. So what they do is when those are coming through, they make sure there's only one going at a time so that they can drive in the middle. But it's really long tunnel. It's kind of cool. You're going right through the rocks.
Yeah.
Or to the mountain. But that was really cool. And there's a lot of hiking there. So if you're a hiker, from what I understand, it's that national park has more rock climbers than any other national park. And so if you're really into rock climbing as well, that is the place to go to. So, and we didn't spend a lot of time hiking or anything. We did hike a little bit the next day when we went to the sand dunes, but it was a blast. So anyway, but that was beautiful. I mean, the rocks and how they look is just, again, different than the Grand Canyon, but so pretty cool. Yeah. So we hit Zion, and then we also hit on the way back in Colorado, we hit the Great Sand Dunes.
Isn't that where Henry?
Yes, Henry went through there when we went to Supercell last year. So the sand dunes, for those of you that know, are these sand dunes in Colorado. You can see it in the mountains, and they don't go away; they stay. And so from what I understand, the wind tries to blows it up the hill, but then the rain brings it right back down. So it just stays in this area. And so again, if you remember, you saw us, we were actually out there and we recorded my my coffee time with Tim.
Yeah.
I recorded it out there on the dunes. So you go through this. There's a creek in front of it that comes across the sand, and then you're in these dunes, and it's crazy because I think I got some close-up pictures of it.
Now, can you drive in the dunes?
No, you can't drive in them. You gotta walk across. But you could see all the footprints across going through there. But there's so many people there. I guess I didn't get any more than that. I tried to get not a lot of people in view, but up on these dunes though, they will take like snowboards.
Oh
And
yeah.
they'll go down the snowboards, or they'll go wakeboards from the beach, and they'll go down the dunes. It's kind of cool. So they'll go up, and I said, she's like, "Do you want to do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, it took us like forever just to get across that thing, that sand." But also there too, which is really cool, is they have a waterfall. So we hiked to this waterfall.
Zapata.
Zapata Falls. We walked to their waterfall. Let me see if I can get some images of that up for us here. So you walk to these waterfalls. It's a half mile walk, I think, to it. It's not that far to the waterfall, and it's pretty cool. And you can walk along it and get further out. There is a waterfall that comes down, and we didn't walk through that. It was slick rock and everything, and we didn't feel like we wanted to do that. But there are people that were. I think I might have got some pictures of some of them. There they are. They're trying to crawl across and around to the waterfall that comes down here. So you got to kind of like get wrong, really sketchy stuff, and then you can cross. But anyway, pretty cool. And we were really into water and everything. Here, let me play this. So there's that. And then they end up coming down here. A lot of people didn't go down further on the trail. I'm like, let's go down there. It looks like there might be a small little waterfall over there. And so we did find a little small one, waterfall coming down as well. So check that out. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And see, what are some other things we did? We also did find these on the way to Zion. We saw these caves and there was this one company that had these caves, but these people were up in there. So that looks like fun. Maybe if it's not too late, we'll do that on the way back. So we found out it was free, and it's just called the Sand Cave. And so you had to hike though. So let me see if I can get some pictures of this. All right. So there's kind of a view from the cave itself up there. And there's just sand inside these caves, and there's these openings, but also I think there's a spot where I think it goes further. So that I took a picture of this so you can see, and then then I take a picture from down there. So it's kind of my thing to do now. Let me look. Yeah, you can.
That looks movie-esque,
right? And then they go back. We don't know. We didn't want to go. Like, it's dark back there. We don't know how far back it goes, but you can see those, and it's kind of cool to just kind of walk through that. But to get there, you have to go. And I thought this was unique. So you see the tree up at the top. The roots are down here in the rock.
Yeah,
I thought that was really unique. So try to get a little shot of the roots.
There you go.
So anyway, but you have to walk across this. So you walk across this rock, clear over to the left side, and then there's a rope for you to climb up. So, it's not easy to get to, for sure. Your mom did it. So, how I am with climbing it. I wasn't too bad, but there's some times where you could slide right down, definitely. I mean, there's where we were from the bottom. You can see how high up we were. So, gotta get that.
So take some gloves.
No, we didn't take gloves, but anyway, it was fun. So there you go. Again, but I do think it's important for us to get out and enjoy. Maybe it's not necessarily a Bronco thing. It's anything, just get out and enjoy our national parks. The sand dunes, we got in early enough that morning that we didn't have to pay to get in, because they weren't open yet. But the gates, they're open 24/7 because they even have people come and watch the stars at night. They call it the night dunes. But you could go in before, and we didn't have to pay. Which shouldn't bother me because it's like $15, because that's what I've noticed in some of these national parks is the cost to get in is, it's kind of based on how much there is to do there.
Yeah.
So some of them is $35, but like the Grand Canyon, when you do pay, it's for a week.
Yeah.
So the Grand Canyon was $35 for a vehicle. It got us on both the north and the south rim, and it was for a week. So if you're going to spend more than one day, it's not a bad little deal there. Yeah. I did forget, we did go and we did some other stuff that's not a national park, and some of these weren't national parks, but we did go to Glen Canyon, which I thought was a national park, but it's a national recreation area. And
that's where the Horseshoe Bend is at.
Yeah. We got a chance to go see the Horseshoe Bend. Right there. That's pretty popular. So that's where that's at. And it's about a mile walk in and a mile walk out. I think they say allow for an hour. But but there are a lot of people, because there's a rail on this in the middle if you want to get that view. But then there's a lot of people out on the rocks on other parts of it. I took a lot of it. So you can see people out there kind of just standing on those. And I mean, the rails over there on the left side. But there are people out, kind of, edging out to get views of things. And I got a picture just to kind of show you how high up and how vast this is. Let's see if I got it. Where is that? I think at one point I noticed and realized down in the water were canoes. 30 times zoom to get that photo, and I had to keep it steady, which is still blurry, but there are two canoes. And what's funny is when I first looked at it with the naked eye, I thought it was just one. It's like two canoes down there. But
like I think I saw one of your pictures or something,
and it's right there. It's right
and you see right, and you see like boat wake.
Yes, there was early on. There was actually some boats that drove through there. But so in this image, you guys can't see my cursor, but can you? No, you can't. So the canoes are, if you can see it, it's that dot right there.
Yeah.
Before you get to the rapids on the middle part of the picture there, as it goes around that bend. So anyway, but we did see that, and then we did go to a part of Glen. I think that's part of Glen Canyon there. We also went to you go cross over and go over the dam.
There's the boat.
But before that.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
We did see an old Bronco being pulled from a motorhome.
There's the Bronco.
There's our little Bronco and our little camper, but a little room anyway. So I had to click off some pictures of that though. So pretty cool Bronco there, old Bronco, but and then
you can see the boats.
There's the boats. That's when I first got there. So
having been on a boat, having gone skiing on wakes from a boat, that's huge. That gives me a size reference.
Yep. Okay, so there's the
bridge.
Carl Hayden Dam from Glen Canyon, and they have a visitor center where you did go inside there. You can see, and so they actually have a bridge you go across. They're actually the dam you can't drive across. Well, public can't, so it's limited to I think just the workers or whatever. But you can kind of see that, and that's Lake Powell, so that's holding a lot of water. We hear about the Hoover Dam holding some of the water from the Colorado River, but this one does too.
Right.
So, and like they said, I think they said, like Glen Canyon would be a huge, but next to the Grand Canyon, which isn't very far, it's okay. Anyway,
it's just the Hoover Dam is more notable due to its history.
Yeah. Anyway, so we did check that out, and then we also did go to the Four Corners. So it's not a national park, but I learned a lot about the Four Corners that I didn't know of. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, Four Corners is where the 4 states come together into a corner. You have Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, and Arizona all meet at this Four Corners. And so this is actually a view when we first kind of got there of the different Four Corners. So like at this point, I'm standing in 2 states at one point on that point. So I was like, hey, here, let's take a picture. You're in one state and I'm in another. So we kept having fun with that. But I don't know what I was doing there. But there we are standing on 4. We're on 4 states at once. So she's on 2 and I'm on 2. And so that's a lot of people take that picture. So then I'm like, oh, I got to do this. And people are like, you want us to take your picture? I'm like, oh, we selfie it. That's what we do. But we did have them take our picture too. And then I took a picture of each of the different states with the seal as well right there. So, and then we did get them to take one picture of us there. So, and then I wanted to get one because I realized, oh, wait, there's a USA flag on that end. So I got one of this. And what's really remarkable about this is that the flags are the different states, but also these other flags are the tribes.
The Native American tribes.
The Native American tribes in the different states, which I thought that was really cool because this is not only is it where the states come together, but it's also the coming together of the Native Americans in those areas because you have the Navajo tribe or territory, and then you have the Ute Mountain, which is Colorado, which I thought was interesting. If you look closely, these buildings over here, these are actually vendor booths. So they were selling their art and jewelry and such like that. And it was kind of interesting. We didn't plan it this way, but we purchased something from each region, each state. So we bought some things. I had some here. I got this little stone that they made. Can I see that here? I got this little stone that they made from one of them. I think they were in Utah that made this. So that's got a little magnet on the back. And then I got a hat. Your mom got some stuff for the kids from one area. And so she got some opal jewelry and so it's beautiful. I mean, craftsmanship. I mean, there was one that we wanted to get. It was just, it was probably worth the money because of how much time that he put into this pottery. But we almost purchased it. But man, it was so beautiful. But I mean, it's just amazing what they do. But it was really, really interesting to do that as well, and to learn more about the history of the Four Corners. Because all my life, I've always thought it's just where the 4 states come together. It's kind of cool to be in 4 states at once. There's more into the history on that, and that's actually not something an area that's governed by the U.S., but by the
natives,
the Native American tribes, which is really cool to see. So. Anyway,
so that's reserve land?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and even they had food vendors and all that there too. It's pretty cool. So, and some of them on one side is like, yeah, the people in Arizona over there, it's nice because they get the sun the whole day because it rises and sets. Well, for where they were located, they're always in the shade. Whereas some of them, it rises over there, they're not in the sun until the afternoon, and then they're in the shade. So like it gets really hot now.
So for 2 of them, they get
and one of them
half
doesn't
and half.
get it at all.
One gets only sun and one gets only shade.
Yeah, they were saying the vendors in Arizona, they got shade 100% of the time.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, and I think that's where they reside is what area they have. It's not just like, oh, we're going to pick this area vendor. It is based on where you live. So
if you think about it, I don't know if they pay taxes or anything, but when you're going to pay taxes, they ask you if you've sold things in another state. You have to report it. So it would be easier for them to be where they live.
Yeah. What was really neat too, by the way, you can actually, I see them talking about download the app. I think they're talking about Discord, but it made me think the National Parks Service does have an app. So it was really nice because the app also gives you alerts on weather and stuff like that.
Okay.
If you're coming. So it's always a good idea to do that. You can also set favorites. You can also tag places you've been. So kind of like what this does is, I've scratched off the different places we've been. So
You
Yeah.
know, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma have none.
Yeah. Now we do have some monuments
We have monuments.
that are
I mean,
part of the national.
Monument Rock. Monument Rocks.
We have national.
We have a couple of others.
Yeah, we have some. Well, and some historical like sites. Like you'll see, they might be historical sites, but they're not national parks.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that too. I'm like, well, wait a minute. What about all those places that aren't listed that are like we went to the Glen Canyon. I'm like, well, Glen Canyon's and I thought it was a national park, and it's a national recreation area. It's not a national park. So, because I was looking to scratch off Glen Canyon from that, and I'm like, oh, it's a recreation area. It's not a park because you can take your boat out on the lake. It's at Lake Powell. So anyway, that was very interesting. But yeah. So anyway, great time. Had a lot of fun. Yeah, went to all these places, Four Corners. So these all get on the Bronco. Great sand dunes, and then yeah, so pretty cool. So anyway, that's that. But I guess the point on that is get out, enjoy the national parks this summer. Find one close to you. Go see one.
If you're looking for state parks, you don't want to pay for the state park pass. You can check the library and see if they have one to check out. You can do that.
Huh.
Public libraries will sometimes have the state park pass set for checkout.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, we had a blast. We'll do this again next year. We're talking maybe next year going to South Dakota.
Oh yeah.
We can get to South Dakota to like Mount Rushmore. We can get there in a day. It's 8-hour drive. It's only the other side of Nebraska. Just gotta drive.
It's only
Nebraska.
8 hours there?
Yeah, just gotta drive through Nebraska. And it's on the lower part of South Dakota.
Okay, but Buena Vista's 8 hours.
Yeah. But you're going clear across the state of Kansas. And then clear across the state. You're going the halfway. Yeah, so it's about the same.
It's a mind warp there.
Yep. So we're talking about that. Yellowstone is Wyoming.
Wyoming, yep. I've been to Wyoming.
So there's some places that we can go within a couple of days, like taking a long week, because there for a long time. Like last year, we were doing 5-day trips,
right?
Where I would use a weekend, right? My Saturday off and a Sunday, and so then I only used 3 vacation days.
Right.
So we did that a lot last year, where it's like, well, where can we get to in a day of driving? So we can drive a day there, drive a day back, and spend 3 days there. That's what we were doing. When we wanted to go to the Grand Canyon, I'm like, I can't get there in a day. So I'm like, okay. And I've like, well, I want to drive. If I'm going to drive a day, then I want to spend a day somewhere before doing it. But this wasn't too bad at all. And like I said, it was nice coming back from Utah, Kanab. We drove 8 hours, went through the Four Corners, and then went to Alamosa, Colorado. And we stayed there. It was an 8-hour drive. And then the next morning we went out hiking, went out on the dunes. We did a hike, really kind of started our day being in the vehicle. And then, then we were able to drive through, and we really didn't stop anywhere on the way from there to Kansas. But 8-hour drive wasn't too bad once we got up and got moving and did a little hike. So, we definitely want to do a little more hiking for us, as a couple. So do more of that. But yeah. And then there's places in New Mexico, like New Mexico.
Do you want to take my kids hiking?
New Mexico's
They love to go hiking.
It's only 8 hours. I don't know how far it is to Carlsbad, but that's not too far. That's something we could do in a day.
Yeah.
See, those are some trips. Like we could even go to South Dakota in a 5-day trip because it takes a day to get there, a day back, spend a couple of days in that area, an off-road day. See, anytime we go, we take the Bronco, because we got to find an off-road trail somewhere. So if we go someplace, I want to make sure the trail we can ride on.
I want to go, I think it's Arkansas. It takes 8 hours to get there, but it's the place where you can pan for gold. Or you can dig for, you can dig for diamonds, I think.
There's Hot Spring National Park there in Arkansas.
Yeah. I'll have to find it. It's either Oklahoma or Arkansas, but one of those has like a place where you can dig for gemstones or things.
Yeah, you're talking about Kansas and Nebraska and Oklahoma not having a national park.
Yeah.
But neither does Mississippi or Alabama or Louisiana
or Iowa or Wisconsin.
Floaters
Michigan.
are clear down at the bottom. Anyway, but
Yeah.
there you go. Get out. There's 63 national parks. I haven't got this little thing. We bought this little tumbler, so you get the stickers and you add the stickers of the places you've been.
Yeah. So Midcoast Maine says Maine seniors get free admission to Maine state parks.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting close to that age. Getting there. Not there yet. Anyway, but no, it made us really like want to do more. And so we did that. So some people might ask, how was the camper? Because normally we do 5 days.
Right.
So the biggest part is you saw how big the camper was. Is that camper is really made for 2 people, right? Not made for any more. And there's barely enough room. We figured out how to do it. So on the other trips, when we do 5 days, we take towels. And so we're like, well, we're not going to be able to fit enough clothes in there for a whole 9 days. But when the towels are taken out of the equation, we had
there's
enough
a lot more room.
So I had room. There's 2 different sets of cabinets, and there's enough room for our clothes for all of us for both weeks, and extra clothes, right? And it rained a lot, so we needed rain jackets and other stuff. But we did realize what we did was we took the towels, and while we were driving the camper, the towels were in the camper on the floor. But then when we got there at night, we would move the towels to the Bronco, put them in the seat of the Bronco, and then the next morning we did put them in the camper. So then that's what we did. We just kept moving the towels back and forth. Yeah. But it worked. So we had a bag for the towels, and we did that. So we found a way. But anyway, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We even talked about on this trip getting a little bit bigger camper, but I don't know.
If you ever want to take my boys hiking, they'll actually go rock climbing with you.
Yeah. Well, this summer I might have to travel to our state parks and lakes and do some camping.
Yeah.
So
we've talked about it.
Hopefully, technically, I'm supposed to have a half day, and I could do that on Saturday. So my thinking is, if I can work the morning on a Saturday and then leave, then we can go.
We talked about this last week. Lebo wanted to pack up and leave. Our only thing was the chickens.
Yeah.
We just have to make sure someone can go put the chickens away.
Right. If you I don't know about the state parks, but a lot of these campgrounds, you have to be packed up and gone by 11 a.m. That makes it a little more difficult if you want to, especially if you want to go to a state park, is you got to be out there by 11, then you lose the opportunity of a whole day. All right.
Well, you just pack up.
I don't know how the campgrounds are. They might be later.
Well, we would just make sure that our tent and everything's packed up, ready to go. Take our car to the trailhead and go from there.
Yeah, when you have the camper behind it, you got to plan a little differently, parking and stuff. But,
true.
Anyway, but there's that. But get out, enjoy, go hiking, fishing, go enjoy the national parks and your state parks as well, right? So some of you are in states where there's not a national park, and that's fine. Go to your state parks, get out, enjoy, get your vehicles out, and go to those different places. So anyway, there you go.
Yep.
Next week, we'll be able to talk more about some new vehicles like Escape, Explorer, and maybe Mustang. We'll see how Mustang goes. And we'll be able to talk more because those order guides are going to come out the 16th, I think, for 2 of them. The Mustang should be the 17th. So worst case scenario, we'll be able to talk about the Explorer and Escape, what's changed, what's different for this model year, for 26 model year next week. So we'll probably do that next week. And then maybe hold Mustang off and talk about it the week after or something. But we're going to start seeing these order guides opening up and order banks opening up on these different models here, as we get closer to July and August. We'll start seeing those order banks open up. We don't know dates on any of them. I just know those 3. I think Transit as well is opening up. They just don't really make as big a deal about it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. And then we'll see job 2s on Bronco and Ranger coming up pretty soon. We talked about some of the changes last week on the Ranger for job 2. And then, so we'll see. So a lot should be happening this summer when it comes to that. that kind of stuff, and we'll see. So
Yeah.
and we're maybe a 60th anniversary Bronco being revealed in early August. So,
Yeah.
from what I understand, because Bronco birthday is coming up. Was August 10th or 11th? I think it's August 11th. So that'll probably be a day that we'll see something released by then. So, all right.
Yeah.
That's all I have. Nothing else. Any other questions?
I do have a Q&A question that I got on the phone. I told him I would ask it. So he's trying to order an F-250 trimmer. And he wanted, for one, you can only get the black interior with that. You can't get Baja, correct?
I don't know. I don't think it's an interior thing.
No.
Yeah, I don't think trimmer has anything to do with the interior.
I couldn't find that answer. I assumed it was kind of like Raptor, where they kind of block off Baja from being used when you go trimmer.
No.
Okay.
I'd have to look it up, but I'm almost positive.
His other question is, trimmer, do you still get the lane keeping assist? Because it says lane keeping warning deactivated.
Yeah. Let's look.
Or lane departure warning deactivated. So does that mean that it doesn't have lane keeping assist at all?
Well, let's look that up.
You know how I figured this out? I went to the order guide on Ford's website, and they have a search bar, and I searched trimmer.
All right. So for right now, though, you can't order an XLT.
Correct.
And you can't order a Lariat unless you add the Ultra package or the Premium package.
Correct.
Just so you're aware of that. But and so, it doesn't mention interior color at all.
No, it doesn't.
So you're ordering your XLT, your Lariat trim,
Okay.
whatever color options you want with that. Then you order your trimmer. So your interior color shouldn't matter. In fact, I believe we have some trimmers in the Baja interior as well as the black interior.
For 26.
I know, but 25 is the same. This package doesn't really change for 26, other than being able to get the 6.7 liter.
Okay.
Now, in here as part of the options, of course, it doesn't say that, like, when you go Lariat, you get, like, Ultimate and all that, you get the lane centering or whatever, right? Right. And so you would get that, and then adding this package doesn't take that away. It would tell you that. There's no note that that's going to happen.
Search lane keep. Can you do that?
Not in this document?
Yeah.
No. See, in here, there's not.
Okay, but it wasn't with the trimmer. It was a note somewhere else on the order guide, and I forgot where it's at. But it's a note in there, and it says that the lane departure alert is deactivated with trimmer.
Well, I don't know. I didn't think so.
It's in like a fine print with a little star. It was down below in the writing.
What do you mean?
Like, it wasn't in that part.
It wasn't in the optional equipment, like in the packages.
Like, it wasn't in that portion where it looks like that. It was down below in the portion that we were just looking at. No. Like, not those pages. Sorry. I'm not explaining very well.
Down in the packages pages?
Yeah, down in there. If you get to the right page, I can tell you where I saw it.
See, there's no note.
Keep going.
Now you're not in trimmer anymore.
But it said trimmer specific. Go back up a little bit. One more page. One more. There. Not available. So fixed 10,000 pound package. And then it says
not available with the trimmer package.
Okay, but that's not what I saw.
Yeah, and say that you know the reason why is because when you add the trimmer package, it puts your weight over.
Can you go to
10,000
the
pounds.
Copilot 360? I feel like that's where it should be.
The 360 camera,
No.
but there's no Copilot 360.
Or then where was it? Because I found it. I will have to find it for you tomorrow and show you. Can I get? Because I found it. I know I did.
Could be.
All right.
I don't know. Anyway, but I assume that you just add that, you wouldn't lose the other technology, but it doesn't say that right. It isn't. I thought maybe it'd be a note up here under the trimmer package. Oh, anyway, unless you're on the lariat trim and it might be under the lariat trim about the under the standard equipment, because I think it's when you go standard equipment on the.
Oh, maybe it was in the standard equipment section.
Like on the lariat where it's where's that? I don't know. Well, there's your bliss with cross chop. That's the mirrors. Oh, wait a minute. Standard equipment. I don't know. Anyway, good
Here,
question.
I have this pulled up. I should be able to find it really quick. Okay. This might be it. Here. So under packages on page 1, new/changed, but then it says deleted. Lane departure warning from trimmer off-road package.
Yeah, they removed the option. So last year, lane departure warning was part of the trimmer package.
Right.
They removed that as a part of the trimmer package for this year.
Okay.
That doesn't necessarily mean that.
So it still has the lane keeping assist.
Yeah. So I think they removed it because I think before you had.
Because that's what his question is. He saw that.
So I think what happened before. So you're talking. You got to remember the trimmer is available on 4 trims,
right?
Including the XLT, which does not have the lane keeping system or the lane centering, right?
Correct.
Adaptive cruise. So what they did was made that option or made that a feature on the trimmer package. So when you got an XLT, you got lane departure warning. Well, what they did is they removed that for the trimmer, but on Lariat, it's still going to be part of the Lariat equipment.
Okay, so
I believe it's standard on Lariat, if I remember right.
Okay, so if it has the lane keeping assist. Yeah. If it is on the base model, or
if it's on that
trim
level that they choose, like if they're on the Lariat, because I think you got to go Lariat Ultimate package, if I remember right, to get the that system.
Okay,
let's look. I'm pretty sure you got to go see like XLT premium pack. Does it have? It does not reverse brake assist, review parking. So it does not have that. But you go to Lariat premium package, you have lane keeping aid alert, right? So that's part, right. You're getting that as in lane centering. You get adaptive cruise with lane centering and everything. That's part of your Lariat premium package.
Okay.
So if you ordered the
and there it says lane keeping alert. So if you order that with the trimmer, you're gonna have it.
Yes.
Correct.
So if you have the Lariat premium package, so basically before what they did was if you had XLT or a standard Lariat, then you got the lane keeping aid,
right,
or the warning, right? You got that on as part of the trimmer. But so this year they removed that, so you're not going to get it unless you have a Lariat premium package.
Okay, that solves the thing or the question.
See, and then you see.
So if he wants to keep that on his vehicle, because he has it currently on his current vehicle, and he doesn't want to lose that when he upgrades to the 26. So he needs to order the right trim level to get it with the trimmer.
If you look at the Lariat Premium package,
Okay.
another option on there, another feature of that is a lane departure warning.
Okay.
So they removed it from the trimmer, but if you had a Lariat Premium package or above, you wouldn't lose it.
Okay.
It should be the same.
And so then interior would also be of a similar working where based on your trim level,
Yes,
there's your options.
Trim, not on the trimmer.
Okay.
Trimmer does not dictate your color.
Interior. Okay.
Interior colors. And I believe you can go through up here. You can actually see the color trims, and I believe it would say the same thing. So there's your, like, if he's on a Lariat, you have Baja and you have black onyx.
Okay.
So that has nothing, like trimmer has nothing to do, does not affect that because trimmer package has nothing to do with.
So if he was looking at King Ranch, he would only be able to get Java. If he's looking at Platinum, he can get the Onyx Platinum Blue. And then if he's on Platinum Plus, he's looking at Smoke Truffle. Okay. So that solves.
That has nothing to do. Trimmer doesn't. It's not like a black appearance package where you get black interior.
Okay. And he was thinking Raptor. Raptor, makes you get the black interior.
Yeah.
So, okay. There we go.
Yep.
All righty. We answered a question. Took a minute to get there, but we answered it.
Yep.
All right. If y'all go to Hot Springs National Park, there's a great off-road park right there in town.
There we go. Yep. And I don't know how far that is from Salina. I think he probably within 8 or 10 hours. So,
we want to go to the ocean.
So, of course, we do love going to Colorado. So, like in July, late July, right before the event here, we're gonna go. We're gonna go back to Colorado again, and we have friends, right. Nathan, Leanna, they're gonna go with us. They already confirmed that, so we need to book our site there for that. But we're gonna go do that. We're gonna hit some trails a couple days, 2 or 3 days, and then come back. So we can't leave until Saturday. So we're gonna go down on a Saturday, off road Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and come back Wednesday, and then we have the event. People should show up Thursday.
We have people showing up Wednesday.
So Thursday. So you all know I won't be here Wednesday if you show up that early.
And if you come to find me on Wednesday, I will probably be hiding in the picture building.
Anyway, and then and then I think in Supercell, Colorado, we're contemplating on going up the weekend before Supercell and doing some off-roading with Brian and Melissa.
Yeah.
That weekend before. And because it's Memorial Days or Labor Days on that Monday. So, and then I don't know. We haven't figured that out yet because your mom can only have 3 days off and there'd be 4 days there. So we actually even talked about of going up that weekend before and going through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, coming back Thursday. And, so we might be able to go off-road with people on Wednesday.
Yeah.
If they're up there, but then Thursday, not be here Thursday, Friday, Saturday for the rest of the event. I don't know. I'd like to be here for the rest of it, but the other option is we do some of that, and then I can't bring her back and then come and take, like, I thought about taking Jeff with me back for the weekend.
Yeah.
The other option on that is if that's what we did, then what we do is we talked about we're going to stay at Taylor Park weekend over there. So then we're already over there on the other side, right? And we do that. We camp out over there and we'll cook at the campsite and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so we're talking about that. And then if we did that and came back, then at the BV Overlook, I'd just book one of those little tiny houses or whatever.
Yeah.
That Jeff and I could stay in. So anyway, we'll talk about that, figure that out. But we'll see. So I'd like to do the whole week there for Supercell, but it might be one of those things where we drive back and go back. I hate to do that, but anyway, we know the flights aren't the greatest, so I'm not going to count on that. Getting around a flight back to Salina. So, anyway. So, all right. Yeah. Anyway, that's that. That's for an episode.
All right.
So, for oceans, it says Douglas says Pacific is wonderful, Atlantic overrated.
In the books.
Anyway, all right. Yeah, episode 196 right there. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't know. Anyway, gonna talk more about the slideshow from my vacation, but and sometimes what's on my mind isn't really that extensive. It's just, hey, it'd be fun talking about this and everything. But hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. But here you go. That's that. Anything else?
No.
Nope. All right. I think we're gonna get out of here. So yeah, we'll get a Bronco Built Wild Wednesday video tomorrow. Figure out what we're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
With that, we might talk. We probably, because a lot of the stuff we talk in our live stream doesn't always get to the other videos. So we will talk about the pricing changes for the Bronco Raptor, and we'll do a walk around on Bronco Raptor we have in stock. Because we have that red one in stock, and we also have that white one.
Did you see the blue one out there?
Raptor?
The blue with the appearance package on it.
Oh, you're talking about the used one.
Is that used?
You know whose that is, right?
No.
Heather Cox.
Oh.
So they bought the strop.
That's right. Oh.
They brought the strop and traded in their Bronco with the graphics on it. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I thought I saw stickers on it, like
Yeah. Because they have a sticker from Pikes Peak.
No, I thought I saw like a new sticker on it, or like a window sticker. But yeah.
I don't know if that's the one you're talking about. It's a Wild Track 2-door.
It's the bright blue with the graphics on it.
Yeah. So that's their graphics they had added. So
okay.
Yep. They got the strop. So that's fun. So anyway.
All right.
Yes. So that's pretty cool. It's a 2-door Wild Track. It does have a scratch on the mirror from the trail we went on.
You're like, I know exactly where that came from.
I'm like, so we're on the trail. I'm like, and they were like, oh, I got a scratch in the mirror. I'm like, well, you always remember the first one. We got a couple more on our Bronco on this trip. A couple little branches.
If we talked about that with Lebo, I would never get him to go off-roading ever.
That's why you just put you got to get a full wrap on that thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Anyway. All right. Well, that's all I have. Well, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for joining us. And other than that, well, you guys stay positive, be kind to one another,
and be kind to yourself.
See you guys later.
Bye.